I think I know what this is. You see, Stan, as you get older, things that you used to like start looking and sounding like shit. And things that seemed shitty as a child don't seem as shitty. With you, somehow the wires have gotten crossed and everything looks and sounds like shit to you. It's a condition called being a cynical asshole.
Oh no.
Yes. And there's no known cure, I'm afraid. Everything just seems shitty and everyone starts to seem shitty and everything they say just starts...
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, everything stinks.
Suppose you folks want to touch the llama, huh? That's right, huh? You want to touch this old llama? Well, you just go right ahead. You can touch that old llama all you want. You can touch that old llama all night till hell freezes over. Not me, though. No sirree, Bob. I wouldn't touch that old thing. Llama hasn't been feeling so good. Woo! It smells funny, too. Whoa! Smells really kind of rank, you know? But you can touch it if you want. Ain't no law says you can't. Ain't that right, Mikey? Ain't there no laws that says folks can't touch this smelly old llama if they want, huh, Mikey, huh? Huh?
You people bring matches for Mikey?
You shut up, Mikey! You shut up! You folks don't give no matches to Mikey, you hear me? You hear me? I don't care what Mikey say or Mikey do! Don't give him no matches! I don't care if Mikey can crawling in through your window! Start making this big old mess! Don't you give no matches to Mikey! Don't you give no matches! Shut up, Mikey! Shut up, Mama! You shut up, Mother! Don't give no matches! No matches to Mikey! Shut up, Mikey!
I'm too old for this shit. All we are is dust in the wind, dude. Dust. Wind. Dude.
Desperate. Your turn.
Desperate.
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 Don't you understand, Steven? Somebody has to kill the babysitter.
You hate to do it, but at the same time, it's hilarious. Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith. I am, as always, your host, Fractured Filter. Also right now, Fractured Pumpkinhead. As with me, too, my co-host, my cohort, partner in crime in all this madness, J-Hitman187. How are you tonight, sir?
Or AKA Roger Murta from the clip, because that's who I feel like I'm right now. Man, where to start?
I don't know.
I feel like this is a good. I feel like that, this has been. I'm not gonna say good week. I'm glad. How do I want to say it? There are two things that have come out of this week. One, this slightly less donkey water episode, and then
oh, you changed your tune a little bit from the last time I talked to you.
Well, I finished it. So when we talked a couple days ago, I was like 3/4 of the way done with. I think I was probably about like
kind of how I was feeling about it then.
Yeah, and then
when I first tried watching it.
Yeah, then I watched it. I finished it. And I was like, okay, well, it's slightly less, but it is still donkey water. And I just want to point something out. Like, I'm not in the business to rip on other YouTubers or anything, but when you start making ridiculous, dumb comments and try to push like Marxism and everything, like that's where like I just draw the line. I'm like, so this guy
got something I didn't.
Well, so I don't.
Who was it? Well, who was this?
So this was a guy. I'll pull him up. So this is why I hate AI, right? Because the more that I subscribe to, and there's people that like I follow, not because I like them, but because, like, for instance, like OG Star Wars follows certain people that she like will get into like arguments with and whatnot.
Yeah.
So this guy named.
That's kind of like what I've told you is that, sometimes like it is when you've mentioned you've been into comic shops and getting into arguments and stuff. And you're like, man, I wish you were there to jump in on it. I'm like, well, that's where you need to learn to kind of sharpen your sword on this and get used to the rebuttals and everything. So that's a good thing. Is just you get to know their arguments on their side, so you can formulate, and then you can fire back when you come against that.
So this guy, I don't know if this is the guy or this is his channel. I mean, he's got 3.84 million subscribers, so he's got a lot of family members. New Rock Stars is who this video came up, and he was doing like his breakdown and everything, and just mentioned a bunch of Marxism. So this manifesto, that
good Lord,
Namek's manifesto, and kind of, unless I misunderstood. Let me preface this by saying I could have misunderstood what this guy was saying, but he was basically telling people to read Karl Marx manifesto and Marxism and all this stuff and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, some of these, like, it's just mind-boggling. But like everything that I like, all these people, I have not seen one review other than our reviews and Raging Rhino and all the other. I guess there's very few, but a lot of people are on board with this show. Like they're eating this stuff up. They're like, this is
it's because of the tone of the show for one, and it's also not involving legacy characters that other than Mon Mothma that we are aware of currently.
Obviously,
that's from our certain point of view, right?
I don't know if it's a certain point of view or more of just like
it kind of is, because I was even having a discussion with a buddy of mine who I wish he would jump in with us, because he and I had a great discussion the other day.
I can't
about
wait to
Andor, and well, I mean, he doesn't quite see it as strong a links to between
he doesn't
Andor
think
and Kyle,
Andor is
and he
Kyle.
he saw it as like the Briar Pistol being much more of modified looking version to separate it enough. So
I am fully content with my hate. Like I've accepted my hate.
I disagreed with him, but because I thought, I just thought, because we were also kind of on the discussion of just the modified weapons and non-modified weapons in the show, right?
But is it really modified? Like how? So let's just, because I want to not have a rebuttal to this, but I do want to talk about it. So how, like, I don't know if I can pull up. I want to pull up, like, how modified is the Briar Pistol that you and I...
We pulled it up last week and we were taking a look at it.
Yeah, I know, but then
when we did the 3-episode review.
Yes, but then he brought it. Then in this episode, he brings it out again, and I like the more that I see his pistol, I'm like, the more I just hate it.
The thing is, so the differences that there are is that it certainly has much more of an actual pistol grip on it and going into the barrel than the original did. The original looks like its own kind of gun. Like it doesn't have anything that you could go, that could be like potentially like, I don't know, fuck all a Beretta or something like that. I don't know.
I hate this. You get on Google and you type in Briar Pistol, the first thing that comes up is
gonna be
Briar Pistol Andor.
Yep.
Oh, you bastard.
Yep.
Listen, I mean, I'm not in the business to argue per se, but like I feel like even if they weren't, for the sake of argument, let's say like, no, we weren't copying, no, screw it. Like, no, like you've taken, I just feel like this is what they do best. Their intention may not be to make this character like a copycat, if you will, but then why have similarities with the very character that you're trying to portray and take it from I'm getting so mad, like I don't even know how to word it, but like, okay, so like Andor that we know,
yeah,
the only thing that he does not have in common with Kyle Katarn is the fact that as of now, but no, screw it, he did work for the Empire. Like 2 episodes ago, they said that he was employed by the Empire.
He's like a fry cook, basically.
So Kyle Katarn may have not been a fry cook that we know of,
right?
But like they still work.
No, he was a soldier. He was part of the
I still
Navy.
feel like damn it, man, I still feel like it's a rip on Kyle. And even
No,
if
I'm full
they're
in that
not,
camp.
they are intentionally, like, it's a slap in the face. You can sit there and say, oh no, they're not trying to slap. Not you, I'm not mocking you, but I'm saying no, they're not trying to slap you in the face. Like, come on, bro. Like, I will argue with anybody under the sun. Like, it is. You take his briar pistol. You take the fact that Kyle and Jan were supposed to be the original one. Like, you can't just take an original. You can't take an original story and make it not original. You can't, like, you don't, unless it's like World Between Worlds, and then you could. They just walk through the door and Kyle and Jan never existed, and Jen and you know, what's his nutsack, Andor, sorry, kids show, are the ones that are now the ones that stole the dust. It just pisses me off, man. It's just if somebody came to me and said, no, Andor's not Kyle Katarn, because I don't even know who Kyle Katarn is, but he's not Kyle Katarn. Like, yeah, it's just a coincidence that Andor stole the plans to the Death Star, and that he has the briar pistol, and then he worked for the.
He happens to even, like, kind of Empire. Share the look.
You know, when Andor was like, when they said when they said Andor was a cook for the Imperial for the Empire, do you ever see those videos where it's like, hey chef, make my McDonald's gourmet? Have you ever seen those videos? Like, make my $5.
Don't know.
There's these videos like make my $5 meal gourmet, and then the cook's like, okay, and he's got a McDonald's meal and he makes it into like this gourmet meal. That's what I think of Andor. Like, Andor, make my, you know, Corellian ale and freaking Jawa meat gourmet. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, and that's stupid. Like, you're gonna say like he worked for the Empire. Like, I'm not undermining like cooks, because everybody's got to eat, but like, this guy stole the plans to the Death Star, and you're gonna have him to be a chef.
Wow, like, you know, he clearly learned some things between then.
Last time I checked, they did not send chefs to the front of the line or infantrymen. And this guy,
he clearly got out of that.
He's found his you know, how to shoot.
He's clearly gotten a little more.
Clearly now more mercenary than he's actually a mercenary in the you know, 3 episodes. The timing is just impeccable. It's just stupid, and it's so disrespectful. And even if that's not your intentions, like, it is your intentions. It's not your intention, but like, Disney loves to take shots. Like, they're the bastards that said that EU's no longer canon is now EU, is now Legends. EU is now Legends. Canon, like, so to sit there and say like, oh, they're not trying to be disrespectful. Like, then why are you defecating on EU and Legends? Why did you call canon Legends? Because, like, I wanted to get through. I just wanted to do this show. Like, my blood pressures. I've had probably 4 gallons of caffeine this last week. My neck's throbbing, and like, I wanted to get through this show. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna have a nice show where Jake, you know, my blood pressure's not gonna get up. And the more I think about it, it's just like, and then the topic that I wanted to talk about, and I didn't even know that this was a topic that like we were going to put on the show heading, but like this topic, I'm about to catch a charge.
Are you talking about the
thing with the thing? Yeah, that thing.
All right, yeah. I'm just really quick here.
How many people are on the planet? 8 billion, 7 billion?
Something like that, right?
7 billion people. So we'll say out of like 4 billion people, how many actors do you think there are? Actors. How many actors do you think?
Actors? Out of all that? I don't know. It seems like there's such a handful of them. Especially
we'll say 7 billion. We'll say, you know, 3 billion, 2 billion.
I'd say like 300,000, you know, if you wanted to.
The point
it's a specialized profession, right?
The point I'm trying to make here is I really don't even want to cut. Like, I do because I'm mad, but then I don't. So I'm in this weird, like, do we talk about this? Do we not talk about this? Do we get Jay Hitman's blood pressure up, or do we
jacked up? Well, let's. All right, you know what? So
how do we want to do?
Let me do. First of all, I've got it with the streams going right now. Of course, things are going great over on YouTube. We got that going. Hello, YouTube. But the Odyssey is running perfectly fine. I've been kind of just keeping an eye on the stream right now. We got some in here watching, which is awesome. Hello, Odyssey chat. And of course we got your Twitch stream, which we have somebody watching over on there. Cool.
Let's go. Welcome.
That's
everybody.
Awesome. And I'm going to share something really quick because I thought it was funny and certainly been a thing that we've talked about before, and I've even changed my mind on. And I found this thanks to good old Stig Kenobi bringing this up, and it was one of the shorts. It was a short done by Mandalore. Let me bring it up really quick. And on the topic of the old gray Jedi meme. Let me know if you can hear it or not.
Misconceptions. There is no Gray Jedi Order, nor is there a Gray Jedi
Could you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Code. The term is usually used to describe mavericks within the Jedi Order, who are prone to disobeying the rules of the High Council to achieve their missions, but are still wholeheartedly beholden to the light side of the Force. There are also those who toe the line between the light side and the dark side, but they've never gotten to the point of actually surrendering to the dark side, so they can't really count either. The closest we get to the fan-described Grey Jedi is the followers of the Potentium, as well as some other Force sects with similar beliefs, though they are often shunned or discounted by the Jedi Order, making them not Jedi at all
That's weird.
By their reckoning.
Huh. But yeah, I just thought that was a good little clip right there of just talking about the Great Jedi and that whole, people want the whole.
So you're saying that Ahsoka wasn't a Great Jedi?
No, she's a practitioner of the light. She may not have, been within the Jedi Order, but she herself was, yes,
so this
still
is
a Jedi of the light.
Then why? Okay, so I fully admit that my knowledge of the expanded universe, I thought I had a pretty good understanding of EU, and then when I started following Allura and even like Tim, and now like this Mandalore, which you're the one who, I think told me about Mandalore. I know nothing like compared to them, like very very minimal. Like, but
well, that was certainly how I felt when I encountered these people. It's like I knew a fair bit, but it was like, wow, it's a drop in the bucket in comparison to these people.
Yeah. Wasn't Ahsoka marketed by Filoni as like a Grey Jedi? Like, wasn't okay? So she left because of that whole episode.
Yeah, she just basically was like,
or not Barris. What was her name?
She was like his Jedi exile, basically.
But why the gray lightsaber? Because that's the whole thing. Like,
that's him playing up to the fan base on that one.
So is she like? They obviously.
Hey, I take it to, everybody likes to wank off Revan. Well, even Revan himself in the Darth Bane book said, you cannot. I'm going to be kind of butchering this and everything, but so go read the book. But
Darth Bane.
But I mean, his whole
Darth Bane,
Darth Bane, Path of Destruction. When Bane got the holocron, and
he said
Revan's giving his teachings, and he's saying you have to fully. You cannot try and do this whole teetering on the in-between. You will not gain power that way. If you wish to truly gain power for the light or for the dark, you must fully embrace one or the other in order to do so.
You can't.
There's none of this. Basically. Yeah, there's none of this towing the line. And that's also what pissed me off about the Revan book, was because he tried to tow the line when he fought the Sith Emperor. And that was the dumbest goddamn thing. If he supposedly got all of his memories back, getting his mask and everything, he should have known full stop right there. He needed to do one or the other.
Well, logically, then, if we look at Ahsoka, at the character of Ahsoka, like, then she is what you would call a Grey Jedi, even though the Grey Jedi doesn't exist, because she didn't fully go to the dark side. She was trying to, like, she was like, I'm not going to follow.
She still walked the path of the light. Yeah,
she never crossed that line to the dark, though. So would she be classified as a Grey Jedi?
No. Hang on. Let me get Stig, of course, is as always very brutally forthright and honest on his
like half the time
cake. very blunt as always. So like I liked what he had to say here, and completely accurate in reference to. See, now it's playing like that. Completely accurate. Great Jedi was just a term made up by some dumbasses 20 or so years ago. Lucas even debunked it himself.
Yeah.
So just something I that cropped up today when I saw it on the twatters. I was like, yeah, I got to bring this up today at least. And now we can get your blood really boiling. Because you were the one that you dropped this one.
Yeah, but okay,
so it's a rumor. It's a rumor. I was laying
in bed and I saw this and I was like, I need to do my part and contribute to the Discord. And I saw this and I didn't think I'd press send. No, I did. I gave it the full send. This just
Here's the thing. It is still it's just considered a rumor.
Yeah, but 9 out of 10 times when you label something as rumor, it's not really, and at least I don't think it's a rumor. If you're talking about it, like
sometimes, yes.
Preface this by saying, like, and I've said this before, and if those of you who are joining don't know, like, I love Thrawn. I love Heir to the Empire.
Yep.
The Thrawn books are absolutely fantastic. They're one of probably top in the top, probably I'll say 5-3. That might be stretching a bit. Absolutely love Thrawn. And this just the simple fact that they're even like I haven't watched Rebels. I'm not gonna watch Rebels. The only way I'm gonna watch Rebels is if my counterpart here forces me to watch this ridiculous show, but we might have to with the way things are going. We might have to review Rebels, but Thrawn is a character that should be off limits, in my opinion. To you, like Shizor should be off limits, like Thrawn should be absolutely off limits. There's nobody in that company. There's nobody that could tell his story the way that it needs to be told.
Yeah,
that's a very subjective. I know that's a subjective opinion.
No, I agree with you though. That I think you're absolutely right.
So don't touch it. No touchy. Swiper, no swiping. Like, do not touch it. But it appears now, with the way that Disney Lucas is going, that they have a certain repertoire and being trash pandas.
Yeah,
and that's not being disrespectful to Filoni, because he, we've talked about his whole, kids show. They're just trash pandas. They can't come up with anything good themselves, so they have to rob from the EU. They have to rob from legacy characters, established characters to create things. This pisses me off, though. Like, I know it's a kid show. This irritates me that they're even thinking about doing either live action or it's gonna be a live action, because according to the article,
the Ahsoka solo series. Yeah, so according to the latest word on the streets of Bespin, Disney has allegedly decided upon the actor who will portray fan favorite Star Wars antagonist Grand Admiral Thrawn in their upcoming Ahsoka solo series. Latest rumor was first sparked courtesy of freelance entertainment reporter Christopher Mark. Taking to his personal Twitter on October 10th, Mark asserted to his followers that, as per his sources, quote unquote, Ahsoka has indeed hired Lars Mikkelsen to play Thrawn in the series and will have his traditional white uniform in the streaming series.
Because he looks exactly like, when you think Thrawn, you think this guy right here.
Certainly from the Rebels show, he's got the look.
Yeah, but
like they say, Mikkelsen
Rebels is absolutely terrible. Look at him.
Mikkelsen has been rumored for ages and previously voiced the character on the Star Wars Rebels show. Yeah, so that's where a lot of the hope is coming from, is that he voiced the character, and I mean, I'll give him that. He had a good voice for Thrawn. Other than that, I mean,
the unfortunate terrible choice.
The unfortunate characterization of Thrawn in Rebels was horrible, because they absolutely butchered his character, and space whales. But I mean, I think I know, I agree with you. I don't think Thrawn should be touched unless it's under a different regime that's being much more taking care of the Star Wars legacy than what Disney Lucasfilm has been doing.
This is, mark my words, I'm going on record at 427 to say that they're going to do this. Like, it's not going to be a rumor. They're going to do this, and they're going to bring Timothy Zahn on some type of counseling.
I think they have to.
Do that. Well, I didn't know if legally I had to, but they're in some capacity.
I think that's
Timothy
what was
Zahn,
the thing with Rebels too, is that he was brought on as in an advisory capacity.
Yeah, they're going to
even that didn't save the character,
and because he's already bent the knee to Disney. Anything that the way that Disney's going to portray Thrawn in this series, he's going to give the green light. No different than John Jackson Miller did with the Kenobi stuff, because John Jackson Miller bent the knee to Disney. You can sit there and say that I'm not right, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but he did, based off the article, based off the interviews that he, like, what he has said. Like, he did said him himself, and there's proof. Like, OG Star Wars brought up the interview where he said, "Oh no, the book actually does fall in line with the movie, or I'm sorry, it does fall in line with the show." When the show contradicts the freaking book.
Yeah. Wait, who said that?
OG Star Wars. There was an interview where she posted a tweet where it's like John Jackson Miller was saying, "Yeah, my Kenobi book does fall in line with the show," and blah blah blah. And her rebuttal was like somewhere along the lines. This is paraphrasing, but basically, no, it's not. And how can it when the books basically said this and the show did this? The point I'm trying to make is Zahn has bent the knee to the mouse and now has Jackson. So that's what I think. I think that he's going to be brought on as some advisory role, and he's basically going to say, like, yeah, this is an accurate representation of Thrawn. This was my original thought for Thrawn, but I did this in the books because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like that's what's going to happen. I don't feel like this is a rumor, because the show's dog water. This show is going to be dog water. No different than The Mandalorian was dog water. No different than out of all the things that we've watched thus far, I think Bad Batch is probably the best. They should call it the best batch.
I can't believe you actually are saying that.
Bro, it's so bad. And you think this is going to be any different?
No,
Ahsoka is I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong, and maybe Ahsoka is a beloved character, but here's the thing.
To the Filoni fan base, yes, she is a very beloved character, but to some of us, no, not so much. She's actually been oversaturated within the multimedia marketplace.
But this is what's irritating about this article. It says, when they called Thrawn a fan favorite, half these fans today, I feel like, don't even know who Thrawn is. They're like, Thorn? Who's Thorn? Gorn from Marvel, from Love and Thunder? Is that who they're talking? Unless I'm not saying this. No, I don't. Convince me that Disney fan, the fans that follow the High Republic, have a taste or even read EU books, legend books. What do you think the ratio would be? Do you sit there and say fan favorite? Their fan favorite. I feel like they're talking about the Thrawn and the Rebels. In Rebels, which is not even they're not even.
Well, remember, there's also been a new trilogy of books for Thrawn, and there's been the comics.
Stop it!
I'm just telling you like it is. So I mean,
I need to hit something.
I'm just telling you like it is, man.
There's not two Thrawns. There's one Thrawn, not two.
I'm not disagreeing with. I'm just.
My hemorrhoids are gonna pop.
Oh dear Lord!
There's not. There's no two Kyle Katarns. There's not two Palpatines. There's not one. There's not two empires. There is one empire. There is one Palpatine. There is one Thrawn. There's no Ahsoka. Usually you're the one that's hits your table, you karate chop your table.
Yeah.
I'm more irritated than I thought I was gonna be. Like if these people,
there's a
had
part of me that
read-
almost wishes we were on camera just so we could, people could actually see your
probably not,
reaction.
because I went to the chiropractor yesterday to try to like get fixed, and like the boy, my man like snapped my neck, like, and so now I can't turn, like I have to turn like C-3PO. Like if you saw me at work yesterday, like I'd be whipped. I just want, oh gosh, like how this is just so depressing. Like you say, well, no, just remember, there's these new Thrawn books. I'm like, oh my.
Yeah, it's something, ain't it?
I don't get it. I don't understand why, how, like, and shame on Zahn for selling out. Shame on John Jackson Miller for selling out. Like, again, people listening can be like, well, Jay, man, you're just being just really hard and biased. And it's like, no, like, again, you're entitled to your opinion. I respect your opinion. You can have your opinion, but no, he did. No different than John Jackson Miller did. Because if I wrote a book, if I created a character within the EU, and I wrote a book, maybe it's because you and I are from a different generation, older generation. We're not gonna say which generation, but maybe we're you remember did you ever watch Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino?
No, I know about it, but I haven't watched it.
There's a scene where it's a fantastic movie. The only thing I don't like about it is there's a lot of cussing, and I try not to cuss. But there's a scene.
Well, that's what you let me and everybody else cuss for you.
Yes, fractured vicariously. There's a scene where Al Pacino, who plays the role of the LA detective, and his wife, girl, I think it's his wife, whatever, she's basically cheating on him to get his attention. But he basically, she says something to him, and he responds with, I do what I say, and I say what I do, right? And it's a fantastic line, because it's what everybody should be about. Like you do what you say, and you say what you do. You say what you do, and you do what you say. Essentially, I might have those reversed, but that's pretty much what he says. And I think,
no, I get what you're.
Stand on principle, stand for what you believe, and don't bend the knee. Like, there's only one person I would ever bend the knee to, and that's it, right? And it's not Disney, right? So, but that's the thing. Like, what kind of payday did they offer on? And I've not read the new books.
Makes you wonder, right?
I will never read the new books, but what you did, like old school, like original Thrawn, amazing. So something happened to where,
I mean, it was things like the original Thrawn series and Dark Empire that got really kicking off the expanded universe. It certainly helped it.
It's just like
now it's become what it's become.
I don't even know if it's an oversaturation of Thrawn, or if it's like, well, we're no longer gonna. I can no longer portray Thrawn in how I originally planned because of what Disney wants to push, or the era, the time of the time that we live in, and blah blah blah. And maybe that's why they can't. They have to. In Andor, they're portraying the Empire as a bunch of big dumb brutes, bunch of wreckers, or a bunch of wreckers are, employed by the Empire. Like, maybe you can't, maybe because everything's offensive, and you can't have a regime like the Empire. Like, I don't know what it is, man, but it just irritates me.
No, I agree.
This guy, I don't know anything about this guy, but I state the fact that you could get anybody on the planet to portray a character. You could do anything that you want. You have more money than anybody, but then you choose to do these shows. It's like a cash grab. It's like, well, this character is really, really popular, so we're just gonna make a show. We're gonna basically make a show in 2 months and try to.
Well, I mean, that's what basically
all,
any of these are at this point. It's just nothing but little
quantity
cash
over
grabs.
quality, man.
But I made this comment earlier on Twitter to somebody who said, Disney Star Wars is absolute shit. And I'm like, it's the most ridiculous thing that they had the backlog to where if they just properly adapted everything, they could just be printing money. And instead they've chosen this route, and it's just sad.
But they're not even competent. Like there's no excuse. Like you have the blueprint. So like if I gave you the blueprint and said, Fractured, do this, like here's the blueprint, adapt it, right? And you cannot adapt it, now you're just incompetent.
Oh,
right?
no, I agree. That's why I say, properly adapt it. I make my words very clear here that you have to properly adapt it. Like,
I talked to somebody the other day, and they were like, and this is where like I disagreed, where it's like, well, you would rather have the topic was, I said that I would love for movies to be based off the comic books. And he's like, well, I would hate that because like I already know how it's going to end. I was like, yeah, true, you do. However, there's a difference between being able to bring a story to life in a comic versus bringing that story in the comic life in a movie, right? And I would much rather see that because, like I said, I'm just biased and I'm a comic book guy. I don't want them to take, a story that was in a comic and then do their own thing on a movie. Like
no, you want to see it like basically adapted page for page.
Yeah, I want basically canon to come to life.
Yeah, you want to see those things come to life, be in movement, see the action play out more than just some still shots.
Right. I don't want like, oh, well, we're going to just use the title Star Wars and then create just a story that politically moves or basically pushes our political agenda or whatever it is. Like,
well,
or just have nothing to do with Star Wars.
That's the funny thing when it comes to things. And I know so many people harp on it and put it on a pedestal at this point, but I mean, there's some truth in that, with between Japanese anime to manga and manga to anime and stuff like that, they generally do pretty faithful adaptations in the animated sense.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're almost like, just for some, it's like they are just literally ripping pages right out of the manga and slapping it on a screen. But that's giving people what they want to see. And that's exactly what I think you're referring to, that you just want to see it just like taken from those pages and slapped up on the screen. And then maybe do, because of the fantastical nature of comic books and stuff like that, because they are, I mean, that's the whole thing. They're visual medium. They've got that all going on. They've given you, again, the blueprints on how to present things.
Right.
That, there's no excuse for it. I mean, you got it right there to just go, all right, let's take it from here to here. And especially nowadays with the use of CG, green screens and all that, there's no real excuse for it.
No, but the other thing that I'd say is like they say, well, that's easy to take a comic book and make it in a movie. It's like, and I would counter back with like, no, I don't think it is. I think it's a lot more
I don't think it's easy, but I mean,
it's a lot more
you got the storyboard right there laid out.
But you have to find the right actor. You have to find that chemistry. You have to be able to. There's a lot more complexities that come into that. It's just not like it's like you and I. I just think it's it's a little bit more complicated than just that. But then
it's a lot. It's a lot more because, like you say, yes, there is the actor one, and then like you say, the chemistry between those actors. You need to make sure that they can jive together just as well as those characters do in the comics.
Right.
And then
it just wasn't. Yeah. It just wasn't happenstance that like Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, it just was a happenstance. Like George Lucas just didn't find these two characters off a whim and be like, yeah, I think you guys are going to be.
Well, and Mark Hamill, I mean, they all had great, they all
right.
worked great together. They had chemistry together. It all matched up perfectly. I mean, then look at even like the prequels between Hayden and Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, like Harrison Ford is just a grumpy guy inside Star Wars and outside Star Wars. So it's So I'm hoping that this is wrong, but it's just irritating. Like, and then like this God, just so good. Like I don't.
Yeah, let me finish this off. So yeah, Mickelson previously voiced the exceptionally skilled Chiss military strategist in Star Wars Rebels, wherein he is seen constantly serving as the primary antagonist of the series' titular group of heroes, but he kind of comes off more like a Sunday morning cartoon villain than an actual like proper villain. He's definitely toned down, where it's like, he keeps getting foiled by Scooby and the gang.
I mean, essentially, I would assume.
As such, should this supposed reprisal be confirmed, it would make Mickelson the second actor to portray their animated Star Wars role in live-action production, with the first being actress Katie Sackhoff, who appeared in Star Wars Clone Wars character Bo-Katan in the second season of Mandalorian. Notably, this latest rumor is lent particular credence by a previous report from entertainment news outlet Cineflex that Red 11 actor Iman Esfandi has been cast in Ahsoka as the blue-skinned Imperial officer's main target in the aforementioned animated series, Ezra Bridger. Coupled with the claim by scooper Daniel RPK that the series synopsis teases Ahsoka Tano, as portrayed by the Mandalorian actress Rosario Dawson, on the hunt for the evil Grand Admiral Thrawn, in the hope it will help her locate the missing Ezra Bridger, the young Jedi that disappeared with Thrawn many years ago. It's not hard to imagine that fans will, at the very least, see a live-action reunion between three of Rebels' most consequential players. The potential arc is only further supported by confirmation as provided by footage of Ahsoka screened at the recent D23 Expo and shared to the public by Star Wars-centric Twitter account SW Holocron, showing Sabine Wren gazing upon it, that the series will feature a true live-action rendition of the mural in the Rebels finale. And here it is right there. Interestingly, this rumor concerning Mickelson's casting was only one of many Ahsoka-related tips relayed by Mark. Others included word of quote-unquote Zabrak troopers, supposedly clad in white and burgundy armor. But he's showing more of a Darth Maul. That's Darth Maul right there. As well as suggestion that though there was no confirmation if Clone Trooper Rex is going to make the final cut of the show, Disney and Lucasfilm had at one time had quote-unquote plans to have him at least appear. Unfortunately, as of writing, official information regarding Ahsoka is all but non-existent. However, it is known that the series is currently set to air on Disney Plus sometime in 2023. And yeah, that's the Ahsoka rumor, or Thrawn rumor, or whatever rumor you want to call it at this point.
And then what just grinds my gears, and I know we've spent 45 minutes on this topic, but like, she's hunting down Thrawn. Like, out of everybody in the galaxy, they choose Ahsoka Tano to hunt down a Grand Admiral of the Empire. Like, he must be shaking in his booties.
Well, and hey there, Sentinel. Welcome. It's been a while since we've seen you in chat.
Welcome, Sentinel. Yeah.
But yeah, of course they cast an actor who's a dead ringer for the Aladdin-looking character in Rebels for Thrawn. Yeah, being a little on the nose with the space Aladdin thing that everybody's been memeing to hell and back for Ezra.
Like you could like choose anybody.
Because why not these freaking idiots at Vagina Film? more lore rape for the masses. Yes. Yeah. That was basically the like we've gone over the end of Rebels for sure. Was the lore rape on poor Thrawn.
What do you think?
The tentacle whales.
What do you think is going through
Thrawn's
the
hentai
mind?
treatment? What's that?
Like, what do you think is going through Thrawn's mind? Like, oh my god, Ahsoka's after me. I should just give up and quit. Like, it's so stupid.
Yeah, a failed Jedi. It's not going to exactly impress him.
Like
Luke didn't even impress him.
A failed 14-year-old.
Cyboff didn't even impress him. He's just like, I know you have force powers, but I also know how to negate your force powers. So, piss off.
Like that's the Thrawn that we all know. But like to have it, I don't even know how old she is in this timeline. But a 14-year-old failed Jedi coming after a Grand Admiral, like you don't just become a Grand Admiral, service
right.
Like. It's not like, oh, I've known the Empire 30 years, so I'm going to get promoted because I've just for time of, service. Like, there's a reason. Oh, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind after this show. Like, I'm going to literally lose my mind. Like, this is.
No, and it's the funny thing. It's like, I was joking to my same friend, bringing up the whole space whale. He's like, oh, yeah, because he got stabbed by a Nogri. I kind of let things just kind of end at that point, but it's just like, yeah, he got stabbed by the Nogri, who he was, in his moment, what he thought was going to be triumph and everything, and that he was on it, and he thought he had these people subservient under his thumb, and his plans were all working out. It was all his own hubris that kind of was his ultimate downfall, and that was kind of the beauty of it, right? And even though he had thought he'd done all of this planning and strategizing and learning his enemies, that he could not foresee just the interactions that could come with even the child of Vader to come into interaction with the Nogri, and he never anticipated that one little thing to this whole plan.
If they had
gets him killed.
If they had, like, the Nogri would be a better group of people to come after Thrawn than freaking Ahsoka. Like, I could live with that. Like, those I remember finding those bastards on Jedi Academy. Like,
oh yeah, I got something I just found something before we went live in regards to Jedi Academy, but go on.
Well, I just like that would be a better story than freaking this just. I can't wait to review this show. I can't wait to review this show.
Oh, Ahsoka? Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure.
What do you think is going through their mind? Like Filoni to like, we all know he's infatuated with Ahsoka. Like he is Ahsoka on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
That like he dresses up as Ahsoka probably in public. Like we know that he loves
her. Or if anything,
like,
he's certainly checking out Rule 34.
But just help me understand like the thought process behind this, like to bring Thrawn in and then to have Ahsoka, like one, have the audacity to bring Thrawn in to this show and then portray him the way that he did, but also just to like Ahsoka is going to basically is going to hunt down Thrawn. Like I'd be more afraid of a pillow than Ahsoka coming after me. Like,
damn.
It's all
nonsense.
Stepping on the backs of established characters to push your character that you created. Like,
absolutely.
The utter just disrespect of it. Like, come up with somebody that's a little bit more formidable than Ahsoka. Like, what has Ahsoka done other than cry and have feelings for Anakin? What has she done?
Boy.
What has she done? Please tell me. Help me understand. What has she done?
Other than being put at the forefront of every big campaign and stuff that she just happened to be there for.
Crybaby I just hate her so much. That's where we're at in this. This is.
I mean,
this is
the
really
thing is
where we're
that
at with Disney.
The thing is that in terms of like some of the female characters that they've had, I mean, who would you take? Her, who would you take, her or Rey? I mean, it's like for your kind of Jedi lead female character,
I would
who you're gonna take, you know,
your favorite character off of the Book of Boba than her. I would take the mechanic.
Oh, God damn you!
I would take the mechanic over Ahsoka because by sheer dumb luck, the mechanic would probably find Thrawn. Wouldn't defeat Thrawn. She'd be like, "Hey, you know, probably don't do that." You know, ha ha ha. I'd take anybody over.
Down, boy, down.
I mean, we could go on for hours about how stupid I think it is. I just don't understand it. And like this is the best you can come up with. This is the absolute best. Out of all the people you have employed and you know, all the college degrees that they have and all just everything, this is the story you come up with. Yeah. This is who you have. Like, if you're going to bring Thrawn in, you better be damn sure you've got a story that does the character justice and come up with somebody to go after him that's, you know, maybe worth their salt. The mechanic.
What we were talking about was who would you take over a better character,
mechanic.
Ahsoka or Rey Palpatine?
The mechanic.
Knock it off. It was my question. I get to pose the rules here. Okay. No mechanic.
Mara Jade.
I wouldn't bang Ahsoka out of any of the Legends female characters, but in a who'd you rather between Rey and Ahsoka, yeah, I'm getting some orange down there. I was talking in terms of better written characters, not who you'd bang over the other.
I mean, those can't just be. I mean, those are bad. Those are both like equally bad. Ahsoka's probably neither. That's my option. Neither.
All right, so it's neither.
Because she's a Mary Sue character,
but I mean, I've seen some people argue so is Ahsoka. So
how'd that argument, like when they argued that she's a Mary Sue because she's been like, what's that argument look like?
It was there. It was some of the episodes when they were, I think, on Andor, and just the way that like some of the characters like tripped over themselves to say how great Ahsoka was and stuff like that, and it was some of those tropes that went on for that, but otherwise, yeah.
Oh, but why does it like? I don't know. They could have just, you know.
Rey's not known as the mouth of Sauron for nothing. I wish I had some of those memes.
Where are the memes? Find the memes.
Hang on. I don't remember if I had any saved.
Who do you think would be a better character?
What do you mean?
To go after Thrawn. I mean, if that's your whole ploy to find somebody to come after Thrawn, who do you think? Who would you say?
The only other better character would have been having Skywalker, Luke. Otherwise, but we don't have Luke. We have beta bitch Luke.
We have Jake Kenobi.
Exactly. Jake Kenobi. Jake Skywalker.
Oh yeah, sorry, Jake Skywalker. Beta Kenobi, yes. The sucking on titty milk. I don't know. We shouldn't be, you know, I mean, it's pointless to even, I guess, bring it up, but it's just irritating. And it's like, ugh, God, this is the best you come up with. But that's just so telling of who is employed and who's writing this stuff. Like, this is the best you can come up with. Ahsoka to come after Thrawn. because you have to somehow bring your other character that you created, Ezra, into the fold.
Right.
And we all know how I feel about Ezra.
You haven't even watched the series, so
And I'm not going to. I did watch the episode of the World Between Worlds. Thank you very much.
Did you really?
No.
Oh,
I Wikipedia'd it. I think I YouTubed it.
I know we talked about it, that's for sure, but I know we haven't watched any of those episodes. At least you have. I know you haven't watched any of those episodes.
No, I haven't. No. Can't come to terms with it. I'd rather watch Paint on My House dry. Oof. Yeah.
Well, since you mentioned Jedi Academy, I kind of found something earlier. Let's go on to something a little bit positive here.
Any new mods?
Jedi Academy Enhanced is a mod for Jedi Academy single player, which adds features and improvements to the core experience, like RGB sabers, saber customization, saber holstering, new force powers, some extra character customization options, using head swapping, optionally allows SFX sabers, widescreen fixes, better effects, and more on the YouTube channel JK Hub. But first, let's get the Sentinels comment here. Let's see. Every time I try to watch an episode of GCW and Rebels, I just can't get through it. It's such a low IQ and poorly written drivel. You said it. You heard it here, folks.
Beautifully said, Sentinel. Beautifully said.
All right. There we go. So this is going to be kind of a first time me watching this, because I had just found it and I haven't watched it through. So this is going to be even an experience for me, but it just popped up on my YouTube timeline. I'm like, oh, cool. So here we go. Hopefully there's nothing in here that'll get copyright strike. Some of the stuff we just kind of... Oh, based on OpenJK. Okay. Bug fixes, modernization, that'll help the game. Also added a ton of features. For stasis, interesting. Insanity. Force destruction. Oh, okay. That was Force destruction, I believe, was in Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight. Is in the multiplayer. Really? It was fun. It was it's kind of like you see here, where he just kind of shoots out a blast, force repulse. Huh. Extra heads to use. They have the Jedi robes for basically Obi-Wan's episode 3 robes implemented in. There's it's basically too, you can get the Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 3 as a playable customization and everything for the game too. I've gotten it, and that's how I've sometimes played for my character. But like they have it so you could change the modifiers and stuff. Oh, and yeah, the Anakin robes too.
That's legit.
Oh, build your own lightsaber. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. That's kind of cool, because that was like that was among the few things that I liked about Fallen Order, was that you got to customize your lightsaber.
I wish they would do that more.
Yeah, I actually had to give them kudos for that, because that's like you say, that's like one. I mean, yeah, you get to pick your lightsaber, sure, but it's never been often a thing where you got to like have a level of customization for each of the parts. So this is cool. That's pretty sweet. And look at that. It's the emitter, body, pommel, and buttons and handle. Wow.
That's legit.
That's even more customization
than what you were able to in the original.
Then especially in the original. Look at that. Looks like they got a bunch of pre-installed ones. So if I wanted to, I could even use a. Oh, of course. Jesus. Oh, freaking Darksaber. Oh, not the cross guard. God damn it.
Ooh, saber holstering.
Oh, so you can have it on your hip or in your hand.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's great. Oh, wow. So this is interesting that they have a whole cam set up, so you can like basically take your own kind of favorite screenshots or get definitely a this kind of shot you want to take. That's cool.
And you can like save it.
Yeah. So then like once you get the right positioning and stuff that you want, you can then click and get the the Sentinel. That's awesome. Wish the PS4 version included some of these mods. But that's the life of a console peasant such as myself. I mean, even if you get kind of like a toaster of a PC, you could run Jedi Academy because it's not high requirements for these old games. That's the benefit to them. And even with modifications, it doesn't always require a lot.
You can't mod a like game on a console then.
No, not usually. Not unless there's something built in, like Bethesda did it for like Fallout and stuff like that, where you could. They kind of had their own little like weird store thing that you could add in mods. Crossguard blade isn't even practical. You hold it the wrong way at the wrong angle and it cuts off your arm. Yeah, that's the problem with that whole stupid thing. I'm considering getting a Steam Deck for some of these things. Yeah, the Steam Deck is really impressive, I've got to say.
What's the Steam Deck?
Steam Deck is basically basically like a portable PC, and it's Valve. Valve is the company that produced it then and developed it and all that, and it's kind of like think like a Nintendo Switch but for PC games.
What?
And you can mod it too, so you can still mod games and do all that sort of stuff. Get your mods on there and do all sorts of crazy stuff. I've this one guy on Twitter, Mark the Cyborg. I watched him do all the stuff that he's done with it, and I'm like, dang, I should have held out for the Steam Deck instead. But
how much is a Steam Deck?
It gets pretty pricey. We can go into that after. Let's get through the rest of this. Huh. I'm not keen on the model. Oh, at least the stormtroopers are. Oh, that's good. Better weapon effects is nice. Increased dismemberment. Oh! Oh wow, ignition speed too? Jesus. Huh. Again, more things to get the right screenshot that you want. Less flashy, more stabby. Oh, good. Oh, it sounds like they kind of released it incomplete, but at the same time pretty put together, because this was posted a month or so ago.
So it's already downloadable and everything?
Yeah. And on their forum on JK Hub. Well, that's cool. So yeah, go to, for anybody that's interested in that bad boy.
This is why I hate
Go to
consoles.
JK Hub, Jedi Enhanced. And I'll put the link of the video in the stream when I get the chance. So anybody watching, I'll kind of do that right now. But yeah, I mean that's really cool. That's what I've always liked about these old Jedi Academy and Outcast and stuff like that. These old games that they're just so freaking moddable.
Well, it begs the question, which is better, Outcast or Academy? And I asked you this question before I started playing. I remember I was texting you and asking you, hey, which is better, Academy or I think I asked you like how Academy compared to Outcast. And
I believe I said was Jedi Outcast is better for the story. Jedi Academy is better for the gameplay.
Yeah.
And I stand by that.
I
enjoyed the story of Academy, but it just isn't as I just won't it'll say it's not as good as
yeah. I think Academy is, or I'm sorry, Outcast is probably my favorite. Academy is second. I mean, the gameplay for Outcast is better. If I said that right. I think I said that right.
Wait, what was that?
I was just saying Outcast is probably my favorite, and then
right
out of the two, Outcast and Academy. It's just nostalgia too, man. It's just like I love Nar Shaddaa, man. I think everybody should take holiday on Nar Shaddaa.
You and Nar Shaddaa, man.
Dude, I love it, man. It's just so beautiful. Not compared to like fucking Alderaan. Mountains gross. Trees gross.
Realistic lightsaber stuff would immediately slice off heads and appendages. Yep, and I hate it. I mean, they were certainly adding that additionals to that mod, so that's pretty cool.
I wish they would mod Fallen Order and actually give a lightsaber that actually was a lightsaber.
They've tried. It just comes off really janky and weird. Sentinel, what I really liked about the Jedi Academy mods is they have this feature called Jedi Duels, where you can relive all the lightsaber battles from the 6 Lucas era movies, as well as some EU ones. Yeah, I've seen some like I've seen some mods like that as well, giving you that availability to kind of replay famous scenes and stuff like that. But of course, you're getting to play as the characters. What I like about these games is they carried over the cheat, so you don't have to waste hours playing Jedi Outcast before you get a saber and force powers. Yeah, that's why I say like the gameplay is definitely a lot more fun in Academy because you're starting out Jedi ready to go, and you don't have to worry about getting that lightsaber later on.
But sometimes getting the lightsaber is almost like you get so
Part of
irritated.
part of the feeling of it all.
Like you're so irritated with Kyle because you're like, I'm a freaking Jedi. I shouldn't have to reprove myself. Give me my lightsaber. And then like in the Yavin Temple, you're like trying to figure out how to get your lightsaber back.
Yeah.
But I will say, once I originally beat it, I went back and I just cheated. I got my lightsaber with a lightsaber.
Well, that's like what Sentinel was saying. You just do the cheats and get your lightsaber quickly.
Hashtag bubble. Hashtag full life.
So yeah, I did get the links to that mod now in the description. So for anybody that's interested, you can go and check it out yourself.
Now you were talking about a Steam Board,
Steam Deck. Yes.
Yeah,
Steam Deck. Here, let me get the main website for that. All right. Where are you, you silly? There you are, you silly bitch. All right. So yeah, the Steam Deck. So it ranges from the starting at $399 and can go up to all the way to $649. But it's depending on the capacity. So, and what it comes with. So the $399 is a 64 gigabytes carrying case. The $529, you have faster storage, carrying case, and exclusive Steam community profile bundle. The $649 is the 512 gigabytes, which is probably where you want to go for some of these games, considering they suck at compression. Faster storage, premium anti-glare etched glass, exclusive carrying case, exclusive Steam community profile bundle, and exclusive virtual keyboard theme. And last I knew, it's been kind of still in waves for them releasing this stuff. But I mean, the thing is that it is really an impressive machine. Now, in no ways do I think it'll knock out like Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch and stuff like that because of affordability, but just also because of the game library. Yes, like the Steam Deck technically has an insane library because of all the games that are potentially on there and what you can do for modding the system itself to play emulators and everything like that. But it's still kind of there are still games that they are kind of having to make enabled for the Steam Deck to play. So
it's an actual console.
Yes.
And
that you basically will
like
use it like almost like kind of like a
Switch.
Basically, and it's kind of like streaming the games, but not streaming the games.
So you don't have to.
Because you can't download them.
You can't.
You can't. Well, no PC. You don't physically buy PC games. Sadly, the PC gamers screwed that one up big time by not continuing with physical media, and that's how we were kind of the breeding, the kind of test ground for making things fully digital for all the games.
Oh,
yeah.
So it's like stream a subscription based,
but it's not. I mean, the thing is that when you purchase the game, it's yours. They'll generally Valve has been okay. I'm not going to give them full kudos or anything, but they've been okay with like if you bought a game and it like leaves the store, it still stays in your library of games that I believe you can still try and install, but it just means nobody else can purchase it later down the line. So there's that. But otherwise, it's fully. I mean, it's basically you buy the games off of Valve's Steam store and play them right off of the Steam Deck.
So like when you download them, like are they in like a cloud? Are they on the system?
They'll probably share like a part cloud and also what it installs on the system itself.
Have you got one of these?
No.
Are you going to?
Not in the foreseeable future.
So it's like
I would kind of like to, but I mean, like it is. I don't see. Even I had gotten my Switch, and even I feel bad because like I haven't fully used it as often as I intended it to. Now I'm going to try and change that, especially with my vacation time coming up. But
so would you have rather bought a Steam Deck versus a Switch? Or no?
From
like,
what I've seen done with it, yeah, part of me kind of does, but at the same time, I'm happy with my Switch because there are games that I do plan to get for it that I've been wanting to play anyways. So
let me ask this for maybe those who are listening: what are your reservations, if anything, on the Steam Deck versus the Switch? Like, what is so great about Steam Deck versus like a Switch, outside the affordability, obviously, because that's huge.
Well, I mean, the big advantage, like I say, is the modability of this system. Of also then just the capacity for so many games that are available through Steam, between all the indie titles and then just all of the main titles that I would want to I could play like on the go.
So I'm interested, so I'm going to ask a couple more questions. So like, let's say I get a Steam Deck tomorrow and I download Jedi Academy, and the Jedi Academy that I have is not modded, can I
You'd have to go through some steps, but you could install mods, yes.
On a game that you've already purchased.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Versus having to like rebuy the game and like so you can basically just mod it, which modding
you just mod it.
Does it cost you anything, or do you have to buy the mod? Okay.
No, only there are some modders out there that have charged for their mods, but it's very infrequent. They usually put them out for free.
So with this, like if I bought a 64 gig, so there's no loophole around, like if you buy a 64 gig, you can't make additional storage. Like that's why you have to buy.
Not that I'm aware of.
And even if there was, they probably wouldn't freaking advertise it because they want you to probably buy the.
Oh, okay. So all models include a high-speed micro SD card slot, so it does have the ability for expandable memory.
Oh, okay. So it really just comes down to how many games do you
play?
It
comes down to what extra perks do you want with your Steam Deck.
Well, for me, a big seller is always like memory, because I take a lot of pictures. I don't really, I stream a lot, but I usually take a lot of pictures and books on my phone. So memory would be a big thing for me. But again, does the cost of what they're charging for whatever memory is that justifiable? Like, is that reasonable, or is that just like a hellacious shite?
Yeah, because the speeds get faster with also the higher capacity, so it's a higher speed for the solid state memory drives and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yes.
But you can only buy, like, these aren't available in store. Like, you have to buy.
No, you had to buy it through the Steam store in order to put in your order for it.
Interesting.
And Sentinel says you can hook it up to a 4K TV with an adapter too, so you can literally take your Steam Deck and enjoy a big freaking screen. I could also technically hook up my computer to the big freaking screen that I have, and
for sure. So basically, they're selling.
But I mean, I see the advantage to that too, is being able to also not just have it on the go, but yeah, you can still connect it up to big screen TVs and stuff like that.
So their big selling point is convenience and portability.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
Or why not just get? So what are the benefits of this versus like a gaming laptop? If you buy a game like Alien,
it's much more compact than a gaming laptop.
Okay.
Think of it, it's basically like a Nintendo Switch size, if not or maybe it's kind of like maybe like I've seen some people with it, not in person, but people have taken video with it and everything. It's almost, I mean, it may almost is a better screen, of course, but it almost makes me think of the old days of the Game Gear, where it kind of looked a little bulky.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's probably not the case. That might be just my brain kind of interpreting it that way, and just kind of bringing it back to the old days of Nintendo versus X competitor, and that was always
Right.
it was the Game Boy versus the Game Gear. So
it sounds like it's cheaper. Well, I'm gonna say so it could be cheaper than an Alienware laptop, and then the portability, but yeah, I don't know, because it's like this is specifically only you can only do. So it just depends on what you want to use it for, because you get Alienware laptop and then you can do other stuff with the laptop.
it's much So I just looked really quick. It's much cheaper than an Alienware laptop.
Is it?
Because the highest is $649 for 512 for the 512, while Alienware, I just went on to Alienware.com, went to their went to their laptops, and the first one is $1,399. So you're definitely getting into some cheaper territory,
less or 500 less or whatever it is. 400 and some change, maybe, if it's you said $699 or $599.
$649.
Well, that's what I said. $600
for the 512. The cheapest Steam Deck is $399. So basically,
think about it,
it's $50 more than the Nintendo Switch OLED version.
That's what I was gonna say. OLED.
Yeah,
the
OLED.
I saw those, but probably has a better screen, I would assume.
I mean, I'm sure I would love to see one of these Steam Decks in person to get an idea of just the differences of the two screens.
Yeah, but the thing is, with Nintendo, it's you can buy games from their store, but
well, the thing is with Nintendo is that they have their first party games. So if you want to play Mario, if you want to play Legend of Zelda, if you want to play Metroid, there's only one place to go, to Nintendo.
Yeah.
So that's where they've been at such an advantage for a long time, is that they have those first parties that have stayed with them and not gone to other people. Unlike, for example, Sony used to have Crash Bandicoot. Now Crash Bandicoot is on every freaking system now. It's no longer exclusive. Their mascot brand.
Yeah.
Basically Nintendo's kept theirs. Microsoft has even kept theirs with Master Chief. Master Chief has been basically their mascot for their system.
Yeah.
So Sony's got nothing.
Yeah. So why do you think they're are these prices legit? These are expensive to make, or do you think they're a little bit shystery with their costs? If a Switch is $299 and the OLED is $350,
I think these are probably going to be very appropriate for the specs that they have for this machine, because it is the consoles especially Nintendo and stuff, they have these consoles that are very specialized and specially made, and they do sometimes use outside chips and stuff like that for processors or for their GPUs and everything, but it's very specialized for the system, and to be a little more downplayed, especially for Nintendo, because that's also how they'll cut the cost a little bit, and they don't have as powerful a system as, say, a PlayStation or a Xbox, but I mean, they kind of make up for a lot. So what Nintendo always seems to specialize in, especially nowadays, is having their games with a certain art design and stuff like that, to not rely so much on realistic graphics, but certainly look impressive and high textured for some, but mainly keeping things to a certain art style. And that's what has always kept some of their games timeless too.
So do you think the specs and the CPU or whatever, I'm not a computer guy, so I don't know the innards, but whatever innards this thing has, does that justify the price? Because again, I can go out and buy a Switch for $299, and I mean, if you compare the Switch to like the what was the portable PlayStation? Was it the PSP or?
Oh, they had the
it?
PSP and they had the PlayStation Vita. The PSP was the most popular. The Vita, not so much. I have a Vita. I liked it, but I didn't get everything out of it because they kind of killed that system.
Yeah, my brother had a Vita. I remember he had a Vita. He had like Spider-Man on it or whatever.
It wasn't a bad portable system.
So
but I ended up just getting old games to play on it. So
yeah. So like I guess from somebody that's not a computer guy, like
if you're wanting to get the most out of it, yes. Like it would be a great way to go. I mean, if you're just still looking to play, like I would even say like a lot of the indie titles and stuff like that out there. I mean, those are still shared quite a bit on Nintendo too. So
is memory considered RAM? Is that what it is?
There's RAM is a function of it.
So are you paying? So the rule, what I've heard is like the more the more memory a computer has, or the more RAM it has, the more expensive it gets. So is the $690 like? Does that play a part? Does it? Like,
no. So the $699 is the storage. This is mainly coming down to storage. They'll have some of the same specs from system to system, or for capacity to capacity, but like it is. As they get up to the like it is, the 512 is the high speed, and I'm not 100% on what the NVMe for the solid state drive is all for, but yeah, just as they go up, they get a higher speed for helping with the run times or load times and stuff like that.
There's a portable fan in it, so like if you're wanting to play for like hours on end, does it? I wonder if it has something like that in it.
I've heard of people either like getting kind of like third-party fans, but I've heard the cooling is decent on it.
Decent. Well, maybe one of these days when we win the lottery, we can buy one. But I guess for now, I'm fully content on spending even $350. You think is kind of a lot though for? Well, I guess not, because Xboxes now are like the X is $500. So.
Oh, it's a good chunk of change.
I miss the days of Game Boy Colors and Game Boys where they're like the consoles are like $60, $59.99.
Yeah,
we'll never go back to those days. Inflation, it's so bad.
Those were the days.
You remember like you go to the store, you go GameStop and you can find a Game Boy game for oh my god, I remember the expensive ones were like $11.99.
Yeah,
but. Oh, were the days. We just basically showed our age. It's fine. Man. One of these days, maybe. I don't know.
It's nothing to get too worried about, considering even like right now, it's like,
I do like the fact that like you can, and maybe Steam's the same thing. You download it to your computer and maybe it's the same concept, but I do like the thing I do like about it would be the portability. Like if you're going on a trip or whatnot.
That's the major advantage right there, is that portability.
Just take my laptop and do multiple things at once. So like, you're doing a console for $600 versus getting a gaming laptop. So you're spending basically $400 or $500 more on just getting a gaming laptop, and being able to, the functionality is more. So I don't know. It's whatever you want to do with it. I would probably just rather buy another gaming laptop and go that route.
Yeah. Sentinel, those were the days when consoles were no higher than $200. Then the PS3 came out and fucked that all up. Yeah, they
see, this is for anybody PlayStation fans, man. You guys screwed everything over.
Well, what can I say? That was more my route. I'd already I got no excuses.
I stayed true to I stay true to Xbox. I mean, I bought a PS4 and I solely bought it because of Destiny. And
hey, if Microsoft didn't have such a shit E3 that year for the Xbox One, I probably would have gone that route. But they screwed themselves over back then.
I don't think it was really their fault.
It was their fault. They're the ones coming out going, you have to get the Xbox One with the Kinect. There will be daily. You have to practically do daily check-ins. You cannot share your games. They went full like authoritarian mode on it. Like they were getting crazy weird.
You use the term authoritarian like it's a bad thing. Like,
so it's not my authoritarianism. So when it's somebody else's, it's bad. When it's mine, it's absolutely okay.
Yeah, it's like,
but it wasn't mine, so it was bad.
Yeah, like the Empire wasn't bad. They're just trying to protect people.
But no, when that all went down, and then Sony came out the following day or so, and we're like, we're doing none of this. I was like, okay, that made up my mind. I'm going PlayStation.
They took advantage of a
they let their enemies speak, and they spoke, and they shot themselves in the ass.
I mean, essentially.
But I mean, the funny thing is Microsoft kind of went on a weird redemption tour. It took them a while to get there because they were kind of digging in, but I mean, they brought about a degree of emulation to play older Xbox games on their system.
You're talking about the backward compatibility.
The backwards compatibility, which was like a weird like software emulation plus disk-based emulation stuff, but it worked.
Yeah. And
then they've continued it even more onto their new systems with the X and everything. And then that's even more. And what's even more insane is how if you buy the dev kit, you can then install RetroArch, which is a emulation box basically, and turns your console, your Xbox Series X or whatever, into an emulation machine.
Yeah.
And it's just insane that they did that. I don't like Microsoft, but I mean, I'll give them that they did something right there. They kind of, like I said, it was kind of like a weird redemption sort of thing for them.
I just have to say, I mean, the thing that my loyalties lie with Microsoft solely based off Gears of War. I mean, there's other games like obviously KOTOR and everything, but Gears of War was a big game for me. I played every single Gears of War game, and then obviously Halo. I'm more of a Gears of War guy than I am Halo, but I've always enjoyed Xbox. And if you could mod consoles, if you could mod consoles, it'd be like game on. I would never have gone the PC route.
It's a very tricky thing. Like the original OG Xbox is like a beast for doing emulation. It's I think a bit of a trick to do, but it's like one of the best consoles for it.
You're talking about the old Xbox?
The original.
Yeah.
The big
Oh,
box.
you're talking about the one where you get you get the Red Ring of Death console.
No, that was the 360. I'm talking about the one that started it all.
Oh yes.
The actual Xbox One, the first
That's
one,
like
the illegitimate
IBM computer where you had to go into the room.
That thing has been known to be a beast.
You could literally
being able to emulate like anything.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, if anybody broke into your house, you could literally throw it at them and you would crush them. So had multiple functionality, just not for modding and emulation.
Well, it just takes a certain something, right? You just kind of have to know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like guns and want to protect your house, get an old Xbox.
Basically.
Oh, good days.
Those were the days. So, should we get into Andor?
On to Andor, yeah. Pull up my notes.
I'm doing the same thing.
I don't know how many I took today, or preface this by saying I was very distracted watching this episode, so my notes are probably very caveman-like.
I first started to watch it. Oh, excuse me. I had first started to watch the episode. There's that whole beginning scene between Nemec and Andor, and I was just like, I was getting annoyed. And I was just kind of just like already getting a little agitated. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not going to watch this right now. So I turned it off.
Oh, is that what you're referencing? You're like,
that's what I was, yeah, that's what I was talking about when I first started messaging you about the episode. Because it's again all this stupid. I'm trying to think of the right words for it, but it's. I mean, it's trying to. It's kind of having this glamorization of the past, in a sense, for the Republic when it was no worse off than the Empire is. And if anything, the Empire has just brought like a certain degree of order, but they just don't like it because X, Y, Z.
Yeah, it was not a bunch of linguistic nonsense, so I think I fast forward to it or added on, and I just wasn't listening to it.
I didn't fast forward through anything, but gosh darn it, I kind of wish I had.
Yeah, all right. I've got mine pulled up here. You want to kick us off?
Okay. I can do that. Sorry, I'm just kind of doing multiple things at once here. Probably a bad idea, but I just can't help myself. I'm just trying to keep everything up to date. Oh, the one thing that I made a note too is how the freaking they keep fluctuating with these goddamn times.
This was like, well, what's irritating is like, I think I've counted. I think it's like 6 minutes or 7 minutes of just straight either credits or entry. I think it's like, because this was supposed to be 51 minutes, and I think I got through it in like 40 some odd minutes.
Yeah, well, so okay,
like 4 minutes.
Oh, shit.
I could be wrong, but I feel like that it's like multiple minutes worth of credits.
Oh man, I hope I didn't bork the stream over on Odyssey. I think I might have. Anyway, yeah, I was like, what the hell is with these episodes times? Episode 1 was 39 minutes. Episode 2, 35. Episode 3, 40 minutes. Episode 4, 46 minutes. Episode 5, 43 minutes. And now with this episode at 50 minutes. What the hell? Like, they just cannot keep consistent with what they want for their time schedules. And that's at least, I guess you could say about Bad Batch and everything. They usually kept it to like a solid 23 minutes or whatever.
Well, it's amazing. Even like the Clone Wars, it's 25 minutes, I think.
Right. Like on the dot. So yeah, everyone's enjoying their nice little camp out. Nemec is back at it with his little squabble, going on about how he was unable to sleep despite his quote-unquote beliefs or faith, and Andor seeming able to, and yet having no faith, no nothing, was able to get apparently a solid night's sleep. Nemec starts going on rationalizations about mercenaries as tools for war, pointing out the Empire's quote lack of moral boundaries, so they must show them how an insurgency adapts to be so to fight them. Essentially, a prettier way of saying fighting fire with fire. I mean, that's all it really just kind of is kind of dancing around that subject. Andor makes the comment about the Empire not playing by the rules. Well, no, they play by their own set of rules. They are the dominant force in the galaxy. Also, the Republic did not play by its own rules either, and even Palpatine himself exploited and used its rules to his gain. But that's what these idiots seem to want to resurrect. The Trade Federation did what they did because of these set of rules by the Republic. Andor says how the Empire doesn't care enough to learn, except that would be quite the opposite. They need to know how to learn and adapt to keep their rules over certain sectors. Palpatine did just that to take hold, so he forgot? And it's kind of the funny thing, right? It's like, so Palpatine just kind of had a lobotomy on his tactics and stuff like that, and how he manipulated a whole galaxy into the palm of his hand.
Yeah.
It's like
but
yeah,
they're too stupid to learn, so therefore they wouldn't do it.
Right. But yes, they do not care about you lot. The Empire has a bigger picture in mind, or at least they did before the mouse took over. Andor claims he will be fine and you'll sleep when you're done. Is that a bit of foreshadowing? The boy gonna die? Or will he make it out of this? Well, like this is me writing the notes in the moment. So like basically I don't know what's happened yet. This is like a heads for anybody listening. It's like, well, don't you already know what happens? Yeah. But in my notes, as I'm taking them, it's in the moment. So it's basically like my reactions as I go.
Well, so, you said yourself that you
I had been predicting the boy's death since he first came on screen.
I think anybody can look at him and be like, dude, you're gonna die.
You gonna die, boy. You're
the first character that's gonna die.
I thought he was, but he gets saved. Anyway, he gets spared for that moment. The Imperials are looking to impress someone over their knowledge and foresight about the Donnies and how they know how to thin the herd down. Well, that's a bit impressive. So Andor was a bit wrong. They do learn enough to whittle down this lot. Skeen gives Terramin's backstory now. That Terramin was part of the elite stormtroopers, and Cinta also found this out, who had her whole family slaughtered. So I'm guessing that caused a good deal of drama we won't get to know more of. Terramin going over the quick last-minute details and the importance of looking like you fit in and belong with the Empire. Looks like Cinta and Vel might be running into some Imperial trouble. Oh, just troops needing to take a leak. They're spared for the moment. I don't know. Terramin and his crew still don't look uniform in their gun placements, but I guess I'm just being nitpicky. Yep, J-Hold, who is the kind of Imperial in charge of this whole base. You got fat. Yep, J-Hold, you got fat, you lazy Imperial, you. But he wants off this rock. Will he get that? Terramin and his crew are looking off, and even some other Imperials take a bit of notice. So that's kind of like once they were marching up with the rest of the Donnie group that was still left. There was a group of Imperial soldiers that were kind of eyeing our little band of thieves that didn't unfortunately get any kind of follow-up. I thought for sure there was going to be questions from them or something.
Well, you'd think so. You think that, I mean, logical, but of course didn't happen.
Anything, you know. Lieutenant Gorn knows the locals' language. Guess that's part of how he got comfortable with a local lady. But again, they don't learn, right? The Imperials never learn. But he before he turned traitor, he learned enough to work with these locals. Yeah, they don't learn. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing, right? So, I mean, I guess on one hand, it's like it's taking it on their perspective. Andor and his crew. Oh no, the Imperials are just a bunch of retards. But at the same hand, they're showing the Imperials that they learn routine, they learn the methods of these people, and they start to, form their own plans on how to eliminate them or push them out of the valley, whatever, get what they want from the territory in a, not so violent way, technically.
Yeah.
So so let's see. The light show is impressing everyone. And okay, this was something that I meant to kind of get into too. I'm not going to be I don't care about the visual spectacle of this show or of this episode. Because to me, it's kind of how I see video games. Every video game at this point in time can make themselves look very pretty.
Yeah.
But that doesn't impress me. And it didn't really get me here. This is kind of called, this is par for course. If it doesn't look it, that would be shocking, and I would be pointing that out. But otherwise, I've got nothing to point out on that. I don't really care. Just to kind of get that out of the way. Let's see. Gorn is taking our bunch of off to the side a bit, and they are still not uniform in gun placements. I guess that kind of got washed over.
Was it? I'm sorry. Was this where Skeen was like marching with the gun hitting Cameron?
I didn't quite see it hitting him, but I still saw that their handling of the weapons were still like not uniform to each other. They were not in the same kind of positions as the other troopers were. The other troopers all had the same kind of stance and marching order with the guns and stuff like that, so they looked uniform, while they still did not. And I don't know if that was supposed to be intentional so we could tell them apart, since everyone was kind of dressed the same. I don't know. But it was still looked off.
Did this episode for a second when I saw that.
Huh?
I thought Deborah Chow directed this episode when I saw that. Like, he literally, his gun hits, like, it's pointed at Tamron. And rifling 101, hunter safety 101, is basically you don't pull a Dick Cheney and point your gun at somebody's face.
So, okay. I didn't notice it at first because I was just kind of like zoning out partly while watching the episode. But as you see, if anybody that saw the thumbnail for this episode of our show here, I caught this by accident when I was trying to look for something to use from the episode so I could have a screenshot to mess with. And when I happened to stop, right when I did, was when I caught the actor who's playing Nemec staring at the camera for that moment. And I was like, dude.
Yeah, like
you shouldn't be doing that. But I don't know if maybe I just happened to pause it at the right time when he was turning his head or something. But I mean, it just worked perfectly for the thumbnail.
Probably unintentional.
So then Cinta and Vel having a bit of a swim into the base. I kind of got weird, like Metal Gear Solid 1 vibes. Because then they're doing a whole sneaking mission into the base to latch on some weird communication device to disrupt it. J-Hold is catching a quick look at our squad, but seems to move on. He thinks nothing of it. His fat gut apparently was just like, I don't care.
He reminds me of Bears.
No, Barris is much whiter than him.
This is true.
So then J-Hold is catching a quick look at her. Okay, I said that. Let's see. Vel seems to be losing a bit of her nerve for a moment as she decides whether or not to return to communication. And then finally she nuts up and does it so they can start their operation. You want to kick off some of your notes now?
Yeah. Where'd they go? Okay, so I put a recap scene. I said, what season is it in the Highlands? Yes, more Dre milk. Namek can't sleep, whining about. So I said, yeah, Namek can't sleep, whining about being at his best, being at his best. Reminds me of the quote from The Rock where Nicolas Cage says, I'll try my best, and Sean Connery's like, your best. Your best. Only losers
whine about their best.
Yes,
winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
I can't believe you remembered. Yes.
It's like one of the best.
Yeah. And then the second one is
Connery right there.
Oh man, where he says he's like Mason, the Marines are coming. He's like, where? And he's like, and he's over. Oh no, what he says? Mason, it's the Marines. He goes, where? And he points over, and great movie. I just put Namek talking nonsense. The Empire doesn't play by the rules? ? Bro, they made the rules.
That was my point right there.
Yeah, I was like, you're so stupid. Namek asks if Clem thinks it's hopeless. If we get a brief description of the Aldani people, their pride is their downfall, blah, blah, blah. This is what I actually kind of thought was funny, because this is maybe classic Empire. The Empire offers help to the Aldanis to spite them because they know that they'll refuse the help.
Hey, bro, we tried to help you out.
It's just kind of like just classic Sheev. Like, oh yeah, I'm trying to help you because I know you're not gonna take the help. It's classic. Lieutenant Gorn seething after that speech. M tells Gorn tonight has to go perfectly. Cameron calling Echo 1. Clem asking what that is. It's a field comm. It's basically a piece of. It's a piece useless. What did I write here? I think I was drunk off Kool-Aid. It's a field comm. It's basically a piece. Unless you lock it in, then it'll work after everything is fried. So I had issues with this, and maybe I'm just nitpicking, but I was like, how dare they call Echo? They use Echo Bay, or they use Echo 1, like
Echo 1 and
Echo 3. Well, it was like Highland. It was like Valley.
Something Valley.
But it was like Echo 1, as in Echo Base, Echo 1 to Echo 3. Like, just a rip-off Empire Strikes Back. Echo is the only thing.
I was trying to think where those names were. I could, at least for the
I
Echo,
had to look it up. I was like, Echo. Because was it Wedge? Is it Wedge? Where he's like, no, it wasn't Wedge. Who was it? Where he's like, Echo Base, this is Rogue One. I found him. I repeat.
I think so.
So Rogue One was what he communicated, but Echo Base was that.
They were Rogue Squadron, and then
but they even said Echo 1 to Echo 3. So I was like, okay, whatever, just nitpicky stuff. I was like, come on, guy.
Well, you got to get those member berries in, right?
Right. I was like, oh, they're locked in joy. I said, are they using scramblers? ? Whatever. So I basically was like, are they using scramblers ? And then the tech this old tech cannot be hacked by this old tech that they're using cannot be hacked by the Empire. Like,
Well, I mean, that proves to be their downfall, right?
Right. So I was wondering if they're using scramblers, but I was like, then I said Fallout. Tamara was a stormtrooper? Question mark. Of course. Once again, another point where we have to try to connect the dots. Then I don't know why I made this note, but I said Tamarin slaughtered Cinta's family? Question mark. Or Tamarin
I don't think it was his crew. It was
or played a part.
Her yeah. Well, this apparently her family had been killed by stormtroopers.
Yeah. But the first asteroid had hit, and here is the welcoming party. Lieutenant Gorin says it started. The Aldani's have arrived. And then this is just, I caught this. I don't know if you did. So I said, is it just me, or did they become imps extremely quick with no changing scene? So they just kind of they flashed over it. We didn't get but they were basically walking in the uniforms. I thought they literally pulled something off Dragon Ball. They was the instant transmit from
the transmission.
Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, instant transmission from Dragon Ball Z. Like they just showed up very quickly in uniform.
No, when they were walking and Skeen gives Andor the backstory on Tamarin, at least for Andor, you can see the armor underneath that coat he's wearing.
Okay.
So they did put it on between the scene at the start to when they're marching out to the to get the mission going.
Yeah. I said Tamarin reminiscing from a long time past. Vel and the others hiding some type of makeshift bunker. I don't know where the hell they were at. If they're under a rock or but what.
It was kind of like a little foxhole sort of thing. Like it was just it happened to be the way the rocks were, I guess.
I don't look like
I don't know.
But, yeah. Yeah, I'll stop there and let you go.
So then after a tense little standoff, J-Hold loses his chance for getting off this rock as Cinta shoots the colonel. And Nemec, for the moment, stays alive because they had their little Mexican-style standoff as they were beginning their operation and taking hostages and whatnot, getting ready. And then the colonel guy apparently was, got his nuts on the table and was like, I know I ain't standing for this rebel shit. I'll kill one of you if I have to. Unfortunately, though, he doesn't get any of them. And I said, the old, you'll never get away with this, or you'll never get away from this line from J-Hold. And then when they were in the communications room tying everyone up, there was the little scene between Vel and Cinta. I'm like, knew it. Like Skeen said, someone was sharing a bed together.
Oh.
And it was those two. I was like, I freaking knew it. J-Hold keeping some things clear and still trying to play the he can't do certain things involving the vault. Seems the last part doesn't matter. I said, and there it is, the inevitable, we're in. The classics truly never die. I was just kind of chuckling.
Yeah.
But wait, I thought that was only for hackers. Probably not. Nice idea to use the labor there for the gold transport to the ship. Although the whole up and down routine, pick one. Yeesh. They first had them get on their knees with their hands up and everything. Then suddenly, now get back up and start moving the gold for us. It's like, guys, pick one. You could have just made it start immediately. I said, and I was going to see. It seems the communications guy is better at his job than our robbers may be anticipating. Because that guy was on top of it. He don't mess around. He's all about his job and making sure those communication lines are clear. He wasn't sitting on his lazy ass.
Which was surprising because I would have assumed that they were gonna like have him do that, just be lazy and like, oh,
I kind of did too, or like there was something that where he was just kind of like, oh, it must be because. And I think they kind of threw out the line too that maybe it's just because of the whole little starlight event thing going on. That's why the communications must be mucking up, and he's just kind of like, no, something is wrong.
Very wrong.
And I said, and there I was like, ooh, seems we may have a tough guy Imperial that Andor's having to force forward a bit. Mm-hmm. There was a guy that kind of stopped for a moment as he was getting shoved around by Andor, and kind of gave a look like, man, if I get the chance, I'll mess you up. So I was like, things are going to get messy. The light show now really kicks off as more meteors spread across the sky. Gorn now makes his loyalties clear, and J-Hold is none too pleased. Ruh-roh, here comes the TIE fighters getting ready. Communications officer wrecks the party. Gorn tries to play secret mission and use J-Hold, but it seems the weight got to old J-Hold there as he ends up having a complete heart attack.
But yeah, I saw that. I was like,
I just laughed. I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course, the
fucking
Imperial. I thought he was having a heart attack because he was like, they had him moving around the gold too, and he was just like looking exhausted, panting away.
Yeah,
like, that about makes sense. But I was surprised after old J-Hold there collapses in a heart attack. Gorn is the first down.
Right.
But no matter what, the black man dies first.
Well, I thought it was Cameron that died first, but I guess it wasn't.
No, he comes later. No, he so it's basically like seems the only Imperial that wasn't taking Andor's shit is now on the attack, and now Tamarin is now down. He was like, after a few moments, he was then taken out.
Well, did you notice that like Skeen was supposed to have his back and he didn't? Like he only
I didn't quite catch that. No.
Yeah, Skeen was supposed
I was just kind of
to
laughing at the death count and how it was playing out.
Right. But Skeen was supposed
to. No, you have an excellent point. I think I didn't quite catch that.
Which just shows you like
what his ultimate goal was.
How much of a shyster Skeen is.
But I mean, what comes later though after this? That really didn't surprise me any.
No, for sure. But he's been lying. He wasn't a freaking tree farmer. Farmer of lies.
Let's see. I just had a big laugh. I was like, the two black guys died first in the group. Wow.
Like, does wonders for your PR.
And then, oof, Namek got squished by the money, and now he can't seem to feel his legs. Not good, it seems. Everyone is taken in by the light show. You want to kick off with some of your notes?
Yeah, hopefully I don't get in trouble for them. I said, these Imperial standards have fallen short or expanded when he's trying to put on his belt.
Oh, yeah.
J-Hold, I said,
that whole scene was just like, dude, really?
So J-Hold with the tough fatherly advice, the son being a pansy. J-Hold trying to bribe the wife into acting right, throws the fact that she wants out of this, off this planet.
Yeah, she wants out off the planet just as much as he does.
Lieutenant Gorn welcomes the Aldanis almost as he knew them on a personal level. And more asteroids incoming. Lieutenant Gorn giving the orders, telling everyone to move or everybody to mind their P's and Q's. I said, what the what? J-Hold really mixing this planet, or J-Hold's really, what did I put there? Really mixing the planet. I put there. Squad is asking Vel if Vel has checked in. Boring. Clem asks if there's a problem. This whole series is a problem. Yes, the old from the water entry. They're climbing. They,
Yeah, they were doing the whole. Like I said, the Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
intro.
I was like, so if Tamron was a stormtrooper, is he not anymore? If he was a defector, or if he's currently working for both sides, how can he get away with spending all
Showing
this
his
time away
face?
from the base? Or, well, I said, if Tamron was a stormtrooper, is he not one anymore? If he was a defector, or if he's currently working for both sides, like Gorn, how can he spend so much time away from the base? So
yeah, that's actually kind of a good question that now that you bring it up, because it's called how did he get? I mean, it is kind of like, okay, so how did he get involved with this group, and how did he leave the Empire if he was a stormtrooper of all things?
And I don't necessarily know if stormtroopers defected or went AWOL, if you will, if the Empire went after them. I'm not talking about this whole who was the guy, not from the Clone Wars, where he was a Rex, and it was that episode where whatever the guy was. I'm not talking about that, but it's it just seems very odd that they would just let a stormtrooper defect. I think Palpatine would have just sent
I don't know the exact regs on that sort of thing. So, I mean, it would be great to have somebody on that. Or we'll just have to kind of do our own research at some point and see what the whole situation was for Imperial deserters and stuff like that, especially for stormtroopers.
I just want to know, is he still a stormtrooper? Is he not a stormtrooper? Because you watch the series and you would assume that he's not, because he's spending all of his time with the Seven. And if he was a stormtrooper, how can you be gone that much time?
Right.
So,
well, it's I would assume if he left on bad terms, his face would be probably plastered all over the place.
For sure. So it's just another example of trying to connect the dots yourself.
Yeah, you're basically writing the story for them in your head.
Anyways,
now that he's dead, we don't have any answers to those questions.
I said J-Hold asking if these men are from Al-Kinzi, makes Lieutenant Gorn do the talking. Meanwhile, is the team splicing into their comms? She puts that weird thing, she does something. She puts something into. It looks like she's splicing into their communication.
Yeah, she puts that's what I just kind of said, it's some weird device.
Yeah.
That she slaps onto the communications array, power line or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of takes over as a device that then Nemec was able to kind of tap into from a distance with his device.
Yeah.
That he was talking up an episode or two ago.
Right.
And so then that's when the whole hacking into the communications disruption happened.
This whole scene, J-Hold presents Felt to the Aldanis, presents
the very smelly pelt.
Yes, the pelt to the Aldani, presents a gift, and then the Aldani snatches said gift and then gives one,
and then gives him another one.
Basically, just throws one at him, here you go, guy.
They were kind of being a little short with each. It was kind of mutually, they're both
don't like
the Imperial was kind of doing a little more show with the bowing and everything as he was handing over, but the Donnie was definitely.
I think it's kind of more mocking, and I like to think that
I took it as him J-Hold was putting on a show for the Colonel, I'm doing this all. As I said, sort of thing, but
I hope it was
trying to make it seem respectful to their little custom to keep things on an even keel.
I was hoping it was going to be done in a mocking way, seeing as how Palpatine is the master of mocking, since he carried a lightsaber to mock the Jedi. But that would be something that we would want and not necessarily get, because we never get what we want with Disney Star Wars. This was an interesting scene. So I was like, Vel stalling, Echo 1 calling. Has she lost her conviction? Question mark.
Yeah, that was
I was
my
like,
notes.
Cinta giving her the stink eye. Vel is still stalling. And this whole thing, like Aldani says, our ghosts have strong hands and long memories. Tells Lieutenant Gorn to tell J-Hold. So the Donnies are telling Lieutenant Gorn to tell J-Hold this, and then the lieutenant telling him something completely different. And then it looked like the Aldani understood that Lieutenant said something different.
I completely kind of tuned out on their whole conversation.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
So it's just interesting. It's like,
but no, that's some good points that you caught there, because I didn't realize that Gorn was lying to him.
So Gorn basically said the same thing that the Aldani first told Gorn when he saw them. Basically, like, may the eye bring some good out of it.
Right, he kept that the same, but the second one was very different.
It's like if the Aldani, so when Lieutenant Gorn said that to J-Hold, the Aldani looked at him like, "What? You didn't just say what I told you to say." It's like, so like if you understood, why did you not just tell Fat?
Well, it might. I mean, if he can't speak basic, then, but he can understand it.
Now, okay,
I can't speak it.
Fair point, but okay, I didn't think about that, but and then
Gorn might have gotten some sort of weird understanding from his words that he didn't want to relay to J-Hold.
I do think this is very.
What was it? What was it that he said again?
He said, so he was He said, tell him that our ghosts have strong hands and long memories. Basically,
they never forget. They have not forgotten what the Empire has done to them. They are keeping that well in mind.
We'll choke you out.
So if we have to, we will.
Yeah.
So he wanted that. I think there's probably also like an understanding then that even the chieftain or whatever he is like, yeah, that's probably best that you keep that quiet. But at the same time, he's kind of making a declaration, like, we haven't forgotten what you've done to us.
Yeah. I do think this is very, very Imperial-like, though. So he says, J-Hold says that they'll give them the gift of their absence, which I thought was a very, I don't know, very, maybe not in it, like something that, like, if I was Imperial, I would say, like, yeah, we'll give you the gift of our absence, and then I'm gonna, like, basically glass your planet. Right. I'm going to make you think that we're gonna be
some little double speak and stuff.
Yeah, but I would have wished that he would have just glassed this planet. I'll give a couple more and let you take over. But I was like, Vel and Cinta repelling off the ledge. I was like, this march is just ridiculous. Like it's not. There's nothing about them marching that is Imperial at all.
Not that I kept pointing out, they're not looking uniform to each other.
Yeah.
So,
and then I think this is where I saw. I can't remember. This is where I saw Skeen basically just pulling the old Dick Cheney,
hitting him with the gun.
Yeah. As Aldani's burning the imp's gift. Lieutenant sending imps off. This lazy guard. Just sitting there, and then Andor and Tamarin come in hot. Guard pulls out his blaster. Standoff ensues. And then I said, "Shoot Namek, do it,
do it."
I was like, "Now, why the heck did Namek not have his blaster in the ready or at the ready? Like, he's the only guy that is just has his blaster down."
Well, he's kind of the tech guy anyways, but at the same time,
bro, even
none of them, I don't think any of them were expecting one of the Imperials to like I say, got the colonel there got a little ballsy and was like,
no, but
wasn't taking their shit.
No, but so this is what I wanted to make that I was pointed out to me. Like, this guy that pulled his blaster out, I don't think was doing it like he was protecting the kid, which is, I don't think an Imperial officer would care about a kid. So I think Tamarin Skeen had his blaster at the kid's head, and he pulled out the blaster, I think, in defense of the kid, in the defense of J-Hold's kid. I don't know if he was necessary. I don't know. That's just kind of how I took it.
I thought is either that or self-preservation or, filthy rebel scum.
Well, if that was the case, I mean, I don't think I would have just. If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna take somebody out, and he obviously didn't shoot.
Well, he was trying to also ensure least casualties of their own.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. He's still an officer, so he was still trying to keep protection over the women and children.
Even if
they didn't want to say it.
Even if Namek's the tech guy, even Tech from Bad Batch was a better right. It's just so stupid. Like, I'm just I'm the Urkel of the group, and I don't know how to use a gun, so I have to use a gun. I was like, I just wrote like, how do you not take the shot? Oh, and how convenient that they just blast him from the whatever. I don't even know how they shot him. Like they were down in that tunnel thing, but I was like, you didn't take. How convenient that you didn't. Like, how did you not take the shot? And then how convenient that you got shot before you could shoot.
Right. Of course.
As the guard asks Lieutenant if it's all good, Lieutenant dismisses him. I said, J-Hold says that they'll never get out, gets a taste of Tamarin. And then the Aldanis are just partying it up. J-Hold Vel demanding J-Hold open the vault. J-Hold states he doesn't have access. Is done from the air base. His wife pleading with him to follow their instructions. Vel calls him out on his lies. And I'll stop there and let you continue.
All right. So then Andor and crew with some specific flying got through the storm with some fancy pathways, while the TIE fighters got eaten up by the meteors and then off their tails. Nemec is seeming worse for wear now, and Vel is debating what to do. Skeen accusing about the plan. Forgot why I made that note specifically. I know he was kind of questioning the plan and stuff like that, or
he was setting the plot, like he was trying to get. It was
having to do with like revealing the doctor that they had, and they were trying to keep to the plan, I think, and this would have detoured them.
It would have made him easy to escape, is what it was. He was trying to get away from it. Yeah.
Apparently, Nemec was the important piece of the puzzle, and now they need to get to the doctor. I said, yes, Skeen, the galaxy does run on a bit of luck. Skeen was looking quite shifty before with the money. Now, because I did catch that he was kind of, when they first got in, he was certainly eyeing that gold quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
and I was definitely thinking he was going to get that old gold fever. And now he starts bringing up the question of about how much is in there. Yep, seems Skeen wants to rob and split 50-50 with Andor, as he can't fly and needs someone. Skeen making his intentions clear now that he's rebelling against everyone else. God. Skeen reveals now he ain't got a brother. He's been quite duplicitous. My, go figure. I couldn't help but think of Total Recall.
Yeah.
The guy, oh God, the guy that was his like kind of the taxi driver on Mars. And he was always going, man, I got 5 kids to feed. It's like once he reveals he's kind of a traitor, he's like, man, I ain't got kids.
He's a shifty one. Very dubious.
So I was like, let's see. So, well, Andor's clearly not part of Skeen's little ideas, as Andor wastes him right then and there. And I was like, I was right. Nemec died. Called it. So Andor makes it clear he just wants his cut now and wants to bounce. Vel doesn't believe him initially, but seems to after Andor gives her the Kyber crystal and tells her to return it to her friend. For some reason, Nemec wanted on his deathbed to give Andor his manifesto. So there's going to be some inspiring message in there for Andor. So I might still be right on that front. While it may not have been directly his words to Andor, he's going to get it via his manifesto. So now it's probably going to be shown that Imperial Ellen DeGeneres was truly right all along. After this robbery and how the Empire should have been paying attention to the little fires being started around that seemed so random, but weren't random, but were random or something. And then I was like, woo, seems the Senate is looking awfully sparse these days. Because it was a kind of a quiet room. But I don't know. It just, that's still,
is that the scene where the Star Destroyer was above her?
No Star Destroyer above her. It was just a scene of them in the Senate, and then she realized everyone was picking up their data pads and getting information.
No, I'm sorry. I thought it was the Senta scene where she's on the bike and the Star Destroyer is. That may have been towards the end of the episode.
And then news is traveling quick, though, about Eldani, and even Skarsgård gets spooked for a moment as a patron questions about him having pieces from the planet. And he heads into the back, and then once in private, Skarsgård has a good laugh, thinking it's gone mostly to plan. And that's the end of my notes and the episode. Want to kick over to yours?
Yeah, so let's scroll down here. Where did I leave off? Oh, okay. Yeah, I said, so I said, Vel calls him out on his lies. I said, are the comms jammed? Question mark. Let the Aldani singing begin. Vel realizes J-Hold is the proper leverage, tells him if he does anything outside what she says, including letting a fart go, his family dies. J-Hold says that they'll kill them anyways. Vel checks on Senta. The imps are noticing comms. I said the imps are noticing comms are down, blames it on the eye. Guards playing. So this, I just saw this because it's not Sabacc that they're playing, but it looks like it's like some rendition of Sabacc, or because Sabacc has six. Sabacc is 6-sided cards. I don't know what they're playing, but they're
I don't know either. I don't know what it was.
Transporting J-Hold under the guise of a routine inspection. Aldani party going strong. J-Hold opens the gate, telling them that's all he controls. They blow the security straps. Let the unload begin. I didn't notice that Skeen, when he walks in, to your point, his eyes lights up and he's like, basically, let's go, or
he's definitely starting to eye that gold a little bit.
I was like, they picked up your comms. Imps loading up the payroll. A vault breach has been detected, trying to raise wind command. Senta shuts power down to the base, very reminiscent of Han shooting the control panel in A New Hope.
Yeah, I guess, but that was just her turning shit off. It wasn't like she was getting frustrated and decided to blast it. That didn't even really come to my mind personally.
It was like boring.
Because that was like a communications between Han and the other Imperials, and he's floundering and trying to come up with and it just shoots it.
That was a boring conversation, anyways. Damn, we're gonna have company.
Yeah.
Imps are on. I said the imps are onto them. Unloading continues. Partying continues. The imps are on their trail. The eyes here. You could tell, I'm just bored out of. I'm just I just want to get.
That was kind of my notes here. I was like, okay, yeah.
J-Hold astonished to see Lieutenant Gorn. Says he'll hang for his betrayal. Says he deserves worse for serving him for 7 years. I don't know why I found that so funny. It's like, I deserve worse. I probably would have hung myself if I had to serve that guy too under this new empire.
What was worse, J-Hold or serving Barris?
J-Hold
Probably serving
probably.
Barris.
Well, I have this. I actually like Barris to a degree. They're good to go, or are they? Lieutenant Gordon gets caught and plays the classified mission card. They notice the commandant J-Hold. Whatever. J-Hold is. Oh, I put J-Hold is Gordon's leverage. J-Hold tells them to leave. They're not buying it. J-Hold appears to suffer from a heart attack. Blaster fire ensues, and I put Namek's going to die. I thought he was gonna die in this scene. Andor firing up the ship while it's getting
yeah. I wasn't
out.
quite sure who was gonna go down in that. Who was gonna get taken out. I was just kind of then like, all right, well, let's see how this goes. Because I mean, Namek didn't get taken out in the start of all this, so let's see where this goes.
I was hoping during this episode, I thought he was gonna already die. I thought he was gonna die when the Imperial pointed the gun at him, and then I thought he was gonna die in this scene, but he kind of like a gnat. He always has a way of finding his way back. Andor firing up the ship while it's getting choked out. The TIE fighters are dispatched. So I didn't notice this right away, but then when I was going back and preparing for the show, like they kind of give a different. I'm not giving the show credit, but it shows it shows a different side of like the TIE fighters, right? Because every scene that we've seen so far, TIE fighter, the pilots are already in the TIE fighters, and we see the battle. But we actually see like the catwalk that was very reminiscent of Jedi Outcast, right?
I believe they showed. I hate to say this, but they did have like some of that also in, I believe, Rebels. There's even an episode where Sabine was infiltrating them for some reason.
How dare!
Or was it Ezra? No, I'm pretty sure it was Sabine. She was the one that was getting in there, and then that's where they had. Is it Wedge or Biggs? I forget. They had some character in there that was also in the Imperial.
Well, I just saw the fighters. I saw the catwalk, which was very reminiscent of Jedi Outcast, and the Lambda shuttle, of course, down there.
Yeah,
but I did like to see like the TIE fighter pilot actually get it. I thought that was like okay, like we've never really seen that old school original trilogy type Star Wars. Obviously, we see stupid Poe and a stupid First Order TIE fighter, which is not a TIE fighter, by the way. Anyways, Tamarin tries to save Vel, and Tamarin tries to save Vel, gets offed in the process. So Tamarin did get shot. He was trying to save Vel, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Both of them die. Gordon and Tamarin both die, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, I was like, they even made the Briar pistol sound like it. And this is where I'm like, why? Namek gets crushed by the credits. Vel injects Namek with a med spike. Andor flying blind. Namek tells Andor to climb. The same thing that the droid told Andor in Rogue One. Climb, you have to climb. There. And then he's like, and I'll dive. And then it's like, and they're out. Andor says he needs to know where they're going. Vel asks if Namek is okay. Tree Farmer says yes and asks if she's disappointed. So this is all very interesting. This shows, like, I think Skeen's true colors at this point in time. Like, he doesn't care about the kid. He just wants to get. He just wants to bunk off somewhere. So Vel wants to bail on Namek. Tree Farmer's sticking up for Namek. Cut scene straight to the doctor. Skeen asking if Namek will make it. Andor says he could get lucky. Skeen asks Andor if he wants to guess how much is in there. Oh, I love the over-under game. He guesses 80 mil, offers a split 50-50. Skeen reminds Andrew that he wanted to win and walk away. Skeen can't fly the trawler, but has a place they can hold up. He's laying it heavy on Andor. Andor says, no rebellion for you. And then Skeen basically is like, I am a rebel. I'm just one against.
I'm against
the
galaxy.
Right. Andor slightly entertaining the idea? Question mark. Asks where would it put him? 40 mil is enough for Skeen to forget about Andor. This was interesting. So Andor brings up his brother, about the orchard.
Yeah,
Skeen says he has no brother. And I put like Andor has no sister because this whole thing started with his sister. And then so it's like you have no sister. He has no brother. You have no sister. So you guys are match made in heaven.
I'm really wondering if that's ever gonna get brought up again, because I mean,
no.
Okay, he's been on this whole mission where he's trying to keep himself hidden or whatever. Okay, but I mean, even prior to that, like his little involvement with Skarsgård, it's like, well, I'm also trying to. I'm either like really. There's nothing like I'm really close to finding my sister. I got a big tip off from some hooker. I might be able to find her.
The ISB lady, that's his sister. I'm literally calling it.
I'm wondering if that'll be true.
Makes sense. Listen, this isn't that's not the most stupid thing we've seen in DSW, man. Like, it could be plausible. Skeen using reverse psychology says they're the same, and he's dead. So he's really finding his true mercenary path, because before, he kills one guy via whiplash, and then shoots another guy, but that doesn't kill, everybody that basically saw him on, was it Morlana 1? And then, so he's just like, he's finding how to, his ball sack, basically. Skeen and, this is what I put. So I was like, and he's dead. Skeen and Will Namek too. This Doc thinks Andor wants to kill him. Bill says it isn't the Doc, or it isn't him. It isn't the Doctor. Andor says it isn't what you think you do. Bill. Andor offers Doc 30,000 for the 30,000 credits for the ship in the barn. Bill asks where Skeen is, and he informs her that what Skeen tried to do. Andor just wants his cut and wants to leave the freighter, and asks Vil to return the kyber crystal to her friend. And then Vil gives Andor Namek's manifesto. Meanwhile, at the ISB, everyone has diarrhea. Oh, the return nostalgia. The Moth given a speech. Check the holopad. News of the Aldani Vault breach has struck. Here we have Luthen in his natural habitat. What a salesman. Too bad Kirby's weren't a thing in Star Wars. A guy asks anything. So a guy asking if he has anything from Aldani. Says there's a big rebel attack. Luthen's lunch just hit the bottom of his basically his shorts. Luthen laughing in the end. So that's all I have. Filler episode, technically considered a filler episode.
It was finally getting something accomplished. So I wouldn't say it was filler. Like the last couple of episodes or so were filler episodes. Those could have been trimmed down and could have gotten to this a lot faster.
So it took 6 episodes to get to the stealing of the big heist, when you could have done it in like 2, but then I guess
we probably could have done it in like maybe 4.
That's probably a more accurate assessment, but
just because then it still holds like kind of the beginning of how things get messed up. He gets involved with then Luthen, and then Luthen gets him introduced with the little team. The team goes over the missions, their plan, yada yada, and then they get on to the whole thing.
I still don't understand how this is. There supposed to be a season 2 of this? Yes.
But the thing is, we're halfway through the season now. We finally got to the first big moment. Because this is 12 episodes and we're halfway through now.
I kind of wish they did what Kenobi did and just had 7 episodes, because I don't know how I'm gonna make it another 6. We're gonna have to do watch parties for the next 6. I don't think I'm mentally. I don't think I'm mentally. I don't know. But the problem is doing watch parties. Like Saturday Night Sith will go from 2 hours to 6 hours.
Right.
Because I'm gonna want to like. I don't think I can watch it all the way through. Well, maybe. I don't know. Ugh. I don't know, man. Like, it's so hard for me to get through these episodes. It's so hard that I almost want to do a watch party. But I know if we do a watch party, it's going to be, unless we just agree to just let it play through and not say anything, or pause every time we have, or I don't know. I just don't want to make notes anymore. It's just so bad and painful. Don't make me do it. I think I will say this. This is like the one episode that I feel like we actually got some decent action.
Yeah.
Despite how stupid the action was.
Well, and it wasn't like badly put together to build up to the action, at least. I do think it's kind of funny though how Cinta just happened to be able to just walk out of that place.
Yeah. Did you see the Star Destroyer above her though? That planet's about to get glassed. That planet's about see it. So she walks to her speeder bike, her swoop bike, and then she looks up, and then there's a Imperial Star Destroyer that's coming in, like landing.
That? Jesus.
I think it may have been. I don't think it was in the credits, but
there aren't after credit scenes, are there? No.
No, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm 99% sure I saw it.
Because all I remember seeing was her just walking out of the base.
Yeah.
While everyone's having such a orgasmic moment for the light show.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm trying to.
I'm like 99% sure I saw it in this episode. It was in this episode.
Kind of going back to check it out. Because I'm just like, I kept expecting her to get blasted as she's just trying to saunter on out.
Yeah.
I know she kills the power.
Go back and try to find it.
Come on. Dang it. When did they show her walking out of the base?
I don't think I was seeing things. I thought
I know I didn't see her get on a speeder bike.
She was standing in front of a swoop bike, and then she's looking up, and she
I
sees.
I think you imagined something.
No, it's here.
Fast forwarding through.
It should be after they.
Let's see. Taking the gold. They cap the fire. They're heading down through the stairs to head down to the vault.
Maybe it's deleted scenes I saw.
Light show begins. You might want to silence that.
Oh, crap.
I don't think we get hit for that, but since it's not on screen, but never don't want to risk it.
Where are you?
Worst. Kenzie Air Command. They're getting in. I haven't seen her leave the base yet.
Maybe I didn't. I mean, I saw it on video, but maybe I don't know. I just saw it today before the show. I was watching it.
They confront them. Dude has a heart attack. Andor gets attacked. Brings out his modified shit pistol. I refuse to call it the Briar pistol.
Don't call it Briar pistol.
Let's see.
Okay, let me see here.
Namek gets squished.
So stupid you can't play stuff. You can't play audio and not get hit.
I know. Well, I don't, like I said, I don't know about the audio.
Technically, we're not playing audio on the thing.
No, it's just coming through your microphone.
Maybe I'll stand corrected. Maybe it wasn't in this episode. I thought it was. Yeah, no. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it could have been in the trailer. Maybe I was watching the trailer for this episode, and that's where it was in.
Yeah, because I could have sworn, like, I was, I just thought she was gonna get shot on her way out. Like, there was gonna be some Imperials that were still up in the upper areas, and
yeah, I'll stand corrected. Maybe I think it was the trailer I was watching for this episode. Then
for some other.
Okay.
Well, shucks.
That's why you don't. That's why you don't listen to me.
Well, like it is, we can only hope that something comes about that.
I just can't wait for the reveal between Andor and Mika, whatever her name is, his sister.
We'll see what happens, right?
Wouldn't that be so? What would your reaction be if I ended up being right and they are brother and sister? She just dyed her hair, everything. She just dyed her hair and wanted nothing to do with,
like, bleached her skin.
Just bleached it to, like, bleached the memory of being a whatever she was.
I'm wondering if that's going to get explained at all. Like, what the hell was the whole situation with all that?
Her tribe couldn't protect her, so she just gonna join the Empire and destroy everything else. Vengeance. Listen, there is no peace. Peace is a lie.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, this episode was is just a little bit better than the last ones, but like it is, that's basically like, a thirsty man in the desert. We just got that little drip of water, but was it really that satisfying?
It's so much better because of the other five that we've
that we had to go through just to get to this point.
Yeah. And what happened to? Do you think Sizzle, whatever his name is Karn is still eating his cereal or debating whether or not is that bowl of cereal still in front of him?
Is he still sitting there being berated by his mother while eating a bowl of cereal?
But he wasn't even eating.
I don't know. It's a good question though.
It's like they bring these characters, but they don't don't continue the story. It's like we're gonna bring you in, but then we're gonna take them out.
Yeah, that's a question to behold, right?
Is the cereal soggy?
Does the space cereal get soggy, or does it stay good and crunchy?
Jackfruit that they brought into Rebels and Book of Mando still is his mom still trying to force feed him?
Yeah,
we'll never
poor
know.
Guy.
We'll never know. Is his uncle Hora? What's his uncle name?
Whatever, yeah.
Hollow, whatever. Yeah, I think the best part of this series will be if Mira is Cassian's sister. I think that will be the pinnacle of this show.
That'll be the cherry on top of everything.
Oh, it'll be amazing. I'll be like, this is the best part of the show. Because I called it. Bug eyes over here.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know what I would make of that, because that would have seemed so bizarre.
Listen, there are bigger plot holes than that.
Oh, I don't disagree with you. It's just like, huh.
Where's his sister? Like that. I mean, that's a plausible explanation.
I mean, what? Like I said, I guess once, he was with this little group. Okay, that's why that thread would kind of disappear, because he's trying to focus on keeping his identity secret or whatever. And
he works for the Empire. She works for the Empire. It's all adding up. She's in a different garrison than he is. He's a cook. She's a security wizard. Like, just saying. I don't want it to happen. I think it'd be stupid, but it's not the stupidest thing that could happen.
No.
Maybe she's searching him out because she knows. That's my brother, but I can't lead them on to, I can't let them know what cards I'm playing. Using her cover as an ISB agent under the guise of trying to search this guy down, when in reality, this guy that she's searching down is his brother. Man. Makes sense. Could be crazier. World between worlds.
Let's not get down that rabbit hole again.
I just want we're not. But I just want to know where her where's his sister? If you spend the first episode trying to figure out where your sister is.
I mean, the whole introduction is Andor trying to find his sister, and that thread just disappears so fast.
Listen, it's almost as irritating. It's like this. It's worse.
Even his little what's her name? Who's that chick in the first 3 episodes or whatever? I forgot her name. I mean, they seemed close.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was.
She didn't.
Wasn't that his girlfriend or something?
No, because she was with the other guy that got killed.
Well, I mean, they were supposed to be together, but she was using this guy to make him jealous. Classic move.
Where is it? Looking through my
notes. The Scottish guy, It was the Scott guy.
Oh, Bix.
Bix and Tim.
Bix and Tim with 2 M's.
Tim. The Scott guy.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought she might have been a contact for trying to find his sister, but no, it just all vanished. It didn't matter. I'm like, okay, all right. Apparently, you don't care that much about finding your sister
because he doesn't have a sister.
I guess we'll find out, because I'm sure I'm sure there's a reason why they didn't put subtitles for that little for those scenes, right?
They're not that smart.
They'll do it enough to pretend they're smart.
Yeah. So not pumped for this next episode. And there wasn't a lot of I'm surprised that the one, just the time that the IBS was involved in this episode was literally 15 seconds. You would have thought that they would have had a little bit more time, I thought. My head hurts, just to let you know. Over this episode.
I agree.
I can't wait for Bad Batch. Have you ever been more excited than to watch?
God, I'm just kind of
I'm so pumped to finish watching Crosshair and how that.
Do we want to double up, or do we just want to?
Well,
but we're waiting to get through this crap, and oh boy,
we're gonna have to get creative.
I swear to Christ, I'm surprised that this wasn't like a mid-season finale sort of thing. Like they're gonna take a break.
I don't know why
and then get back to the show later. Which thank God, I guess they aren't.
Because then we just had to you're just
then we just
staving off the inevitable.
Be waiting on the pain.
Yeah. Why 12 episodes, man? Like you wasted. Like you literally could have done this in 7 based on the fact that you wasted 4 episodes.
Basically.
Now you're just like, ha ha ha. Well, you have to sit through the pain. I'm watching Bad Batch after the show.
Because why do I get the feeling those little tribal scenes could have been cut out for a later time?
Absolutely pointless. The most pointless scene. You don't know what they're saying, and they no fleshing out of those scenes. And
I mean, the only thing we get from it was how Marva apparently came into possession of him. But was this before or after he was at the Imperial camp being a cook?
Your guess is as good as mine.
So it's like, how does he end up doing that and still being involved with these people on that planet? It's like, what?
It makes no sense. It literally makes about as much sense as wiping before you crap.
Oof.
Or eating Taco Bell before you're about to take a run. Like, it makes no sense.
Those are things you just don't want to do.
Yeah. Like,
basically.
It's like eating Taco Bell and then going to watch a movie. That's like the worst idea ever.
Oof.
Humanly possible. You won't get one. You eat Taco Bell, you're not going to get your pants off quick enough, and especially if you're in a theater. Makes no sense. Anywho, we will see what.
We will see what is cooked up.
I'm not happy, but
do we want to give any final words on Andor, or is that just kind of it? It's just like, yeah, it was there.
I will. My final words are. I think we're in agreement. Like the pacing of this. Well, not maybe necessarily pacing, but a lot more action in this episode. I still feel
and I thought it just flowed a little better than it had. There were still problems with it though that we obviously just got done discussing.
Yeah.
It took too long to get to this point. I mean, if this was kind of the whole thing, it's like this could have happened in at least 4 episodes.
Yeah. So
could have trimmed it down, cut out some of the chaff. Like I said, maybe even like it was from episode 1s and stuff, got rid of those stupid tribal scenes and save those for later when you're going to do whatever reveal you're going to do.
And maybe like if you're going to base
have that as like the big backstory episode.
Right. And if you're going to base your whole first episode on finding your sister, maybe actually have a sister.
Yeah, that's still left up for debate. I will say, like it was funny the way the deaths played out. For older talk and how they I full well expected the I expected the 2 white guys to die, the black guys to live, but instead it was the 2 women that lived. And
I thought everybody would have died.
Andor, of course, was gonna live because we know he makes it to Rogue One.
Yeah.
But and I knew Nemec was gonna die. That was just too obvious, I guess.
He just has
but some of the others I was a little surprised they bumped off. I will say, and I was kind of hoping Vel and
I wanted Vel to die. I don't like Vel. I think Vel's a terrible character.
I'm not too big on her. And I think this might be I got a feeling this is probably the last we're gonna see of them. Maybe one more scene in the next episode, and then they're gonna be gone.
Oh, Vel dies.
I honestly, I mean, Jesus, I would have figured the Imperials certainly would have covered all the spots of that base and then that would have gotten Cinta, but no.
I don't understand how she just survived. Like all and like this stuff is
she
literally going on at the base, and like all these all like the garrison is like not privy to it. Like how clueless can you be? Like the Imperial alarm, like aside from being like iconic, like how do you not hear that? Even, and it's not like they're on a different planet. It's not like they're in a different region of the Highlands. Like it's the base and they're down watching.
Yeah.
Like the base is literally by what they called the whatever the
Highland Ridge
or
whatever
it was.
Yeah.
Like it's within, you know what I mean?
No, I do.
And this is the point. Gorn sent the trooper, like he sent the part of the garrison that was the most experienced down with the Aldanis and had the stupid guards at the base. So you would think that the experienced guards that were down there would,
you would have thought they would have gotten like radioed or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
or hear the Death Star alarm. Like if you
it depends on how much noise, I guess, the whole little light show was supposed to be making. And remember, she did power down a lot of the base. Cinta powered down a lot of the base before extra shit started popping off. So the base has gone dark. So there is nothing else that
there's nothing
possibly
you
could
can do
have
to
done.
quiet blaster fire though. Last time I checked, blaster fire.
Depending on remember they were deep inside the base. There was a good distance between that little light show spot where the Donnies were, and then inside the base. And then remember, they took an elevator down. So they were going all the way down deep inside the base. There wasn't blaster fire that was getting out of that, because that was supposed to be a secured vault.
That's true.
I get what you do mean by that, but especially like at the start when they were still in that little corridor, possibly that would have been where some sound would have gotten out when the colonel got shot by Cinta and everything. And he let out a shot before he died. So, but apparently that didn't alert anybody. That's pretty quiet.
I didn't realize about that, but
so if there was a time, that would have been the moment for it.
That's very true. But wouldn't you think also that they would have like, I don't know, like timetables that they would check in, like the squads would have to check in,
they're still there. I would think they're still, I know that they were kind of getting a little relaxed because of the whole light show thing going on. It was supposed to be like that. What was it, like every 3 years?
Yeah.
So for some of them, depending on if they were going to be, shipped out at some point, this was like kind of like one of those times to actually get to see this and experience this.
I just remember, New Hope, where he's like, how was he say, TC 321 or whatever, why aren't you at your post? Or TC, what was his, I forget the
328?
32, yeah, something like that. He's like, why aren't you at your base? And then, Han comes off, and either Han or Luke, they tap on their helmet, but it's like, so you think there'd be radio?
Oh, right, when they were on the Falcon and
coming off the Falcon,
like, tapped on it, and I'm not hearing anything.
Yeah, so I don't know. Again, just nitpicking, but I would assume that that. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just trying to find stuff to just rip on, but.
No, I felt like we've picked stuff that was all very fair and reasonable.
Yeah.
That could just be my own biases talking. Which I full well endorse being.
100%. Pieces lie.
So yeah, shall we call it there then?
No streaming tomorrow, unfortunately.
Yeah, so tomorrow there won't be the stream on Twitch. I had to make sure and go onto Twitch and cancel that out because I have the schedule set up. Because of work schedule, but we'll be back the following week.
Yeah.
Because and then that's when my vacation starts. So hopefully we'll put in a good chunk of time for some SWTOR.
Yes.
And we'll be focusing greatly on the Sith Warriors Chapter 1 ending, because that's one of the best parts of the Empire's end stories. And yeah, it worked out pretty well doing the live stream over on Twitch.
How did Odyssey go?
Or Odyssey. Sorry, that's what I meant. Odyssey worked out great. Had viewers over there.
And they just had
I tried saying hi to the chat to get them
well, I had to
hiding, but
I tried.
But hopefully as we stream more and more over there too, we'll get it going. One of these days I do want to, and if anybody out there wants to also jump over and join the Rumble channel so we can get that up, so I don't have to drop coin to try and stream on Rumble, but I'd like to.
Oh, you have to pay? Is Rumble?
You have to either get 100 subscribers or pay one of the tier, even the beginning tier, to do streaming over on their service. But thankfully, Odyssey I was able to get set up that didn't cost anything. And of course, Twitch and YouTube, they don't.
Well, just need 90. Well, you just need 98 because I'll get 97 because I'll get my parents and my grandma to follow.
So yeah, that would be great. This might mean because of
looks like a lot more people are going to Rumble because I noticed
there is a good chunk of people that are heading over there. Yeah, because of recent incidences
that I'm not privy to.
It's in certain circles mostly.
Okay. I just noticed that J3 or Drunk 3PO he's asking people to join.
Yeah, and so has Raging Rhino. He's been advertising his Rumble page.
Yeah, actually,
it was to do with the situation between the YouTuber Nick Rekieta and Rekieta Law, his channel. He had a bunch of spurgs misreport him and got him kicked off of YouTube. So then he went over to Rumble and got kicked off. He got great results on Rumble. So he's just now, even though he got his YouTube channel back, he's just kind of like, fuck it, I'm on locals and I'm on Rumble, so bitches come find me there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, all right, let's start this. It was kind of a weird, even though there's been so many people kicked off of YouTube and gone over to the alt tech platforms, this, at least for the certain end of the internet, definitely mobilized people to be jumping over there. And he's been getting like crazy numbers for live stream viewers, like up into the like 50,000s or so.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's been nuts. Or
I don't even know 50,000 people. I don't. I've only got like 32 contacts on my phone.
Yeah, so he's been definitely that was kind of like a big catalyst for a lot of people to start jumping over. And even prior to that, I'd already set up the fractured filter over there. So I've been already and they make it really easy that like maybe like within a little bit after 24 hours, it automatically takes the YouTube posted videos and shares them right over there. So videos that I post on YouTube automatically get shared over there. I wish I could get that connected with Odyssey as well. But in order to do so, again, you need certain requirements, mostly like with need to have more either members on Odyssey or on YouTube. I don't recall which. But otherwise, I may have to try and contact them directly and see if there's anything that can be worked out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I also share the videos over on BitChute, so everything's on there too. But yeah, Rumble seems to be one of the big places a lot of people are jumping over to.
I'm about to look into Rumble then, just to get away from. I mean, I don't think we've had any issues on YouTube.
No, we don't. We got no.
We're not. Nobody knows who
we're under the radar.
Well, that's almost the best place to be, though.
It's good to kind of have your toes dipped in certain places. I just know, like, definitely, I've been hearing Twitch has been kind of shooting themselves in the foot with some goofiness.
Really?
Yeah, and they already do some stuff in terms of like they'll like ban you or kind of punish you for off-platform shenanigans. So if
Twitch?
you do, yeah, Twitch. So if you do something, if you say something on Twitter or something like that they disagree with, they can like give you a suspension or ban or whatever just for being off-platform, even though you didn't do anything on their platform that was against their terms of service and all that directly. But if you're off-platform to do something, yeah. So
maybe I'll try to be like, Twitch is stupid.
That's why I've been kind of thinking of, instead of the game streams on Twitch, of doing it on YouTube instead for the time being.
That's really stupid, man.
No, dude, some of these platforms have such goofy shit.
Like how can they do that though? Like, I guess because it's a private
corporation, they can do what they want. I've hated that for the longest goddamn time. Anyway, on a more positive note though, you can catch our videos on on those places that I just mentioned off. Yeah, no stream tomorrow for Sunday Night Shenanigans. And also just kind of a thanks to everybody that's been recently subscribing to the Fractured Filter over here on YouTube as well. We're up to 25 subscribers. Doing good.
So
I think my unboxing and review of Isom #1 from the Ripperverse really kind of helped out that kind of traction. That's been doing good in the views and the likes and stuff like that. So I've been pretty stoked with that. I wish I would have done a little more on the video, but I thought it wasn't bad for a first time doing that sort of thing. I do plan to do more. I want to do more. I just need to get the setup a little better to kind of show things off.
Unboxings are pretty popular. A lot of people do those.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna go for more of the stuff that I want to review and talk about, you know. So yeah, that's been killer. That's been awesome. So, you know, thanks to anybody that's been stopping by, watching our videos, listening to us rant and rave, especially about Star Wars on this front. And yeah, so for that, I guess I got no more to say.
Yeah.
You got anything to jump in with it, man?
No, yeah. Like I said,
you're all good.
We'll come back at it, yeah.
All right. So with that, everybody, I say a good night.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring, the one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, it put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, yeah, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, yeah, said go ahead, do the thing, yeah. You won't steal my thunder, no. When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter